Ain't no dreams, just what it takes to survive.
Attention. Is now under attack by foreign forces. Military installations and major cities are primary targets. Seek immediate shelter and avoid traveling unless absolutely necessary.
Corner store red and blue light flashing. Thugs in the alley, yeah, dreams they crashing. Politicians in suit, pocket they racket. Pop off the paint, can you block it through a casket? Younger with a strap, no hope, just rage. Put you in the system, get you stuck in the cage. Taxing your soul, leave you stuck in the hood while we slinging this truth, and you know it's all good. See, I ain't dope, so they flooding the streets. Lock you in chains, or you dead in the heat. War crime, yeah, they call it control. See, I came from the gutter, so I know what they stole. Got the plug on the line, but the feds tapping phones. Drones overhead, feeling like a war zone. Mayor talking peace, but the tanks roll deep. Say he went to prison, but he came out in the sheet. Hustle all day, gotta eat, no choice. Screaming war crimes inside the Rolls Royce. Bombing our enemies, calling it policy. Keep the trap booming, yeah, that's a prophecy. Midnight rage while I'm kicking down the door. Jack boy move while I'm running up the score. Stacking up this paper while you out here saying broke. Funding all these wars while I'm laughing at these jokes. War crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Dice roll fade, yeah, spin it on the block. Yeah, gun pops, watching the suit and the Glock. Legislative blade, cut the pork to the bone. Building an empire while I'm in my zone. Hustle in my veins, I just sets that they trap from the corner to the capital. We cashing that debt. Yeah, war crimes, yeah, see the blood on the flag. While the preacher selling hope, I'm just getting to the bag. We can work overseas, but the feds wanna stitch. Yeah, global game dirty, yeah, they kissing all the rich. Yeah, war crimes painted on the walls of the traps. Spit the truth in the booth, another X on the map. Street life figures out here moving with the pack. Yeah, fed circle like roaches slipping in the trash. White House blowing, but it's built on the scars. Yeah, dealing war crimes while singing to the stars. Casting my votes on the block to the stage. Bullet in the valley, yeah, writing our page. War crimes stacking from the hood to the lost. Out in these streets, they calling me a god. Young and on the heat, but the coals in the eyes. Politicians out here selling all these lies. Chopping through the top, rewriting all the scripts. Money in the power, yeah, it's time to get rich. War crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement. Yeah, war crime, blood on the pavement, trap like dodging enslavement.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. Hold on, let me get it set up real quick. We're almost here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Hold on, there we go. I think we're almost here. Yeah. Okay.
3 crossing river.
Yeah. I feel like I'm stuck in cycle. It's like I'm stuck in
All right.
It's like a curse, and I can't escape it. It's like deja vu. It's me, Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator.
All right, ladies and
I'll be
gentlemen.
back. It's deja vu when I'm not hip.
Good morning, everybody.
It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
All right.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, yes, the show has officially started. So sorry for the slow start, but obviously, we have so much going on in the news today, especially, what we saw happening with Charlie Kirk yesterday. So what I am going to do is address that as well as some of the other items that I think I need to also address. All right, so please bear with me and make sure before I get started, for those of you, this is your first time tuning in. Yes, I go by the name Zeus, and a lot of people like to say Triple H, and you know why? Because I'll be honest, I'm humble, and then obviously handsome. That's still there, but it's a little bit of a different mood this morning because we've all seen what's been going on with the Charlie Kirk situation, and then the reaction to that. And so what I will do is, I do have some things that I felt we need to talk about. Yes, good morning, all of you. I do have some things, that I think I could have talked about, right? In terms of what's going on with the economy. We got some very, very nasty numbers when it comes to the job numbers. But, what's going on in response to what happened with Charlie Kirk is kind of where I think I need to put a pin in and address. All right. Because, what we do on this show, like I say, I consider it to be very, very important work, right? We talk to a lot of people from all sides of the aisles, and the goal that I've always had was to always, just kind of test where people are in terms of their morals, their values, And then outside of that, you go on about your day, do whatever it is that you do, But I also understand, some people don't think maybe I'm too radical enough, maybe, or some people think I'm too radical, right? And I can understand why, because change is a terrible thing for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid of change, right? But one thing all of you should understand about me is I totally am against any kind of violence. All right. And you've seen me sometimes I've had to check people on my side and say, hey, this isn't the place for that. All right. Regardless of how I feel about the things that Charlie Kirk has said, one thing I won't do is I'm not the type of person to be fully aware that this man was a father and, his wife, had kids. And, I keep thinking to myself, what would I say to his wife or his kids if I were able to speak to them, right? Because they're his legacy right now. And so my remarks today are with that in mind, and I do hope, I don't know how I feel about it, but one of the things that I don't want to do is I don't want to entertain anything that's going to exacerbate the situation and make matters worse. I'm not going to do that. I don't like doing the dog pile in moments like this, and I will speak from my position as a content creator. Many of you know me, and then the things that I've done on TikTok that has gotten us to this point, and I'll give credit where credit is due. Fair enough? Fair enough? So, when I first started on TikTok, a lot of you know me, and they called me this. I used to be considered the love guru. And I was giving people, going back and forth about it. And then Snuggles was there. This is how I ran into a lot of these people. And he never listened to me when I was the love guru. Snuggles didn't. He never listened to me. But that's how him and I started going back and forth. And then, it became a situation. And I saw a lot of people doing it too, where I had to leave the love guru stuff alone because it was taxing. A lot of people off the app would reach out to me. And, then you had these relationships going on. And I'm like, I am not a therapist. I used to do mental health lives as well. I would randomly pick a topic and then I would go through it with the audience. And this is back when I maybe had 10 or 20 people. All right. And they didn't know what my political belief was, but this is how it kind of started. And we did that, and then it just got to be overbearing to try to really do the work that it takes to help people work on their issues, right? And a lot of people have a lot of issues, including myself. And I've always been big on making sure, you remember that, Zena? Thank you. I've always been big on making sure whatever it is you're going through in life, you learn how to take accountability for your actions, all right? And so from that, I was able to kind of pivot and get into conversations about politics. And I think that's the thing that it has united all of us in one way or another. And I'll give it to Donald Trump and I actually wrote this, his administration, the Trump administration, they've created an avenue for people to engage in political discourse. When I was growing up, we didn't talk politics, we didn't talk religion, you didn't talk about sex, right? But the Trump administration and all the things that it's came with has kind of created this avenue, created this lane where these are the norms. Now we talk about politics. And to me, it's like a sport at this point, right? You play the best game you got and then you go home, kiss your family, kiss your kids and stuff like that. And that's what it has been. But I'm also aware that there are a lot of folks out here who I personally feel might not understand how to talk about politics, and some of the stuff that's being said can sometimes escalate into a dangerous territory, so to speak, right? And I try to avoid those people as much as possible because it will then ignite something that I think we all struggle with when it, and when they say, well, what do you struggle with? I think everybody in this country understands what anger is, right? Do we all understand what anger is? Hold on, let me get it. Do we all understand what anger is? All right. And it's something that I've had to understand personally, and a lot of people who follow me early on know, and I've done lives about it. are we all really able to control our anger and ourselves? All right. And I think this is what's happening to this morning. So, and I posted a video about it after the incident that we all saw happen with Charlie Kirk. I did what I would normally do. I'm checking the internet. I'm looking at other creators, and I'm, checking with family and friends, loved ones, and I'm going, is this really true? Right? Then you get to the videos, you see the videos, you're like, Jesus Christ, what in the world is going on in this country? What evil individual would do something like this, So then the anger creeps up, right? Because I'm like, whoever did this, this is some sick stuff. And I started thinking, I just did a show about the situation in Charlotte, right? And I'm hearing about things that have happened in Chicago and inner cities all over the country, Houston. And it's just like I'm bouncing from one violent scene. I call it crime or terrorism, right? I'm bouncing from one thing to another. And then we get to Charlie Kirk. And then even in the Charlie Kirk thing, 3 innocent, children in a Colorado school and you're like, this is just a lot of violence. And this is just overwhelming. This is overwhelming. And I also had to understand, personally, I do not have the solution outside of addressing what I think is the elephant in the room, which is there's a serious anger management issue. There's a serious anger management issue in this country that needs to be addressed. I've done a lot of work around that. And one of the things that I've learned is violence isn't the way, right? And I've learned this. So people don't understand it, but maybe they do. When you engage in acts of violence, you end up losing. I could fill a chalkboard up with a lot of things. If I were to ask you, okay, if you do this, like, what will you lose? You can lose your freedom. You can lose your family. You can lose your loved ones. You can lose access to employment when you engage in anger. All right. And in abusive things like that. So that's why when people say things to me and, they go, Zeus, why are you so nice and this and that? It's because I've learned over the years that, people can say whatever they want to say, but it's really how I respond to it that is really the major issue. And I think that's why a majority of you honestly tune in and listen to what I am saying, because I think deep down inside, yeah, you can lose your life. Yeah, you can. You can do that. All right. And so, and in some cases, the damage is so bad, you'll never, ever be able to go back and fix it. And so that's the thing that guides me as I have these very, very difficult conversations with people, making sure they understand, like, hey, I'm a Democrat, but you know what? I'm in control of myself, and I don't support being an angry person. I don't support doing things that I think would actually make matters worse. My hope is that the things that you see me doing as a Democrat show you another side that, is obviously not being shared out there. And just like, and I'll be honest, I don't believe genuinely every MAGA person, for instance, is hell bent on being a violent person. I don't believe that. I do think sometimes, I think they're misguided, but that's the political side of it. So with that in mind, you go, well, where do we go from here as a nation? Number one, I said, you know what? I'll share a story about why I think everybody needs to check their anger and be very, very careful about how they go about reacting to this. And this is a personal story. So, I live in Oakland. Well, I lived in Richmond at the time. I had bought a car. It was a Lexus. All right. And my very first Lexus, all black. And I was so proud of that car. I tell you, I was so proud of that car. Right. And one day I go outside and the whole passenger side has been keyed. Keyed. You can see the key going from the back of and I said, what? Who on earth did this? Right? This is just an example about why you got to be why you got to be careful about how quick you get angry and go out and do something. So there were some people in the neighborhood and they go, they come up to me, hey, sis, we know who did it. We know who did it. It was this person. Okay, well, you know what that translated into? The cavalry's called. Hey, we got a situation out here, and this person did it. They described who this person was to me. Now, what I probably should have did just let it go, but you just keyed my new car. This means you're a hater. This means I gotta put you in my cross. You know, I went there, and so we were looking for this person, and we never found him. We never found him. About 2 days later, someone came back and then they said, you know, the person that told you it was this person, they were the ones that really did it. Real story. They were the ones that really did it. So with that being said, the lesson in that was, first of all, I was grateful that I didn't do anything. But then the second thing was, you know, the person that really did it actually acknowledged that they had done it, and then they took care of me in terms of getting the car fixed. Right. And so I've always kept that in mind, too. I don't like to go off of the initial reaction. And I just hope that others out there understand that we're in a moment right now as a nation where we have the ability to do a lot of introspection and looking within ourselves about what it is we can do in the spaces that we are in to actually have a more of a positive impact and become more of leaders and more of role models, right? You know, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm grateful all of you do tune in onto my show when I do what I do, but I do it primarily for entertainment purposes. All right. I do it because I truly, in a certain case, I truly enjoy it. You know, engaging with people who just don't think different, who think different than me, as well as people who do think like me, right? I think it's necessary. It helps build community. And so I keep that in mind. And so when I look at Charlie Kirk, I've looked at some of the statements that he has made, and I acknowledge that they have offended a lot of people. I wouldn't say that that isn't what they did. But I also see some of the positive things that he's done. And a lot of you might say, well, what the heck did he do that's positive? And I would say, he did pave the way for a lot of us creators, whether you agree with him or not. He paved the way. He was one of the bigger people out there that showed a lot of people like myself. And the funny thing is, I don't really follow him like that, right? But the work that he put in, to me, I see other creators out here talking politics. I go, well, you got to give credit where credit is due. This is a guy that actually dedicated his life to doing that. And at 31 years old, I'm 42. I hadn't accomplished all of that in terms of being a content creator, so I won't take that away from him. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I say, you know what? I don't have a heaven or hell for Charlie Kirk. You know, I do my Lake of Fire thing on my show. That's for entertainment. But I don't have a heaven or hell for this man. But he was trying to take care of his family using his First Amendment. And I do give credit where credit is due. You know, the first model, like, think about it. Their first time learning how to do anything in life, driving, right? You're not going to get it right. So I can't expect Charlie Kirk to be the perfect content creator. I won't put that burden on him. And I know that he had a positive impact and rubbed some people wrongly, but he had an impact. He had an impact at the end of the day. And so I can't take that away from him. My condolences do truly go out to him and his family. All right. Because I could only imagine the pain that his wife and his daughter are going through at a moment like this, and it would be beyond me. It would be outside of my character, honestly, to disparage this man, knowing that his wife and his daughter or children could possibly be listening to the things that I'm saying. And, you know, I'm just not that type of person. All right. It doesn't mean that it does not mean my values have changed at all. All right. My values haven't changed. All right. I still believe in doing the right thing when you are in a position to do the right thing. I do understand what positive rhetoric is, and I understand what negative rhetoric is. So I hope that people don't perceive what I'm saying right now as a sign of weakness. And if you do, fair enough. You can say whatever you want about that. All right. And I'm not asking everybody to always agree with everything that I say. You know, people say I'm running a cult here. I'm not running a cult. I literally do my show, then I go on about my life. That's all I do. I do my show, and then I go on about my life. I create videos, and then outside of that, there's just so many other things. We all have a responsibility at the end of the day to take care of ourselves and make sure that every day you wake up, you go to bed, you make it, you go from waking up to going to bed, getting back to your family. We all have that responsibility, and it's unfortunate when some of us don't make it, and I've heard a lot of stories. I don't have the answers, but if you're asking me how do I want to do today's show, because I know probably some of you want to, I was tempted to say, you know what, I'm just going to do what I do. I know Donald Trump is talking at 9/11. And by the way, I'll say this. I did see what Elon Musk posted, and he was targeting the left. And I saw Donald Trump's post. I saw the post, and I said the post was presidential. He did a presidential post. However, I listened to his video. It started off as being presidential, but I did not like the target that he was placing on the back of the Democrats and the left, he said, because I don't believe it's really that, more so than I believe it's folks out here who just haven't gotten control of how they deal with their anger. There's a way, and I've demonstrated it on my show. There is a way to talk to people that you don't agree with. I'm going to be honest with you. There is a way that you can actually learn how to talk to people that you don't agree with and actually have an effective way. And you have to go in understanding that both of you or whoever's involved have to have an open mind. Number one, if one person's going in with a closed mind and there's two people with a closed mind, then you're just throwing words at each other. It's like throwing mud at each other. You're both going to get dirty, right? But if you're genuinely trying to have a conversation, both sides have to go in and have an open heart, open mind, and then be willing to listen. All right. And so I understand that very well. Tell my followers celebrating. Hold on. It's evil. It is evil to celebrate that him losing his life. It is evil in my opinion. But here's the thing. Leadership starts at the top. All right. And you lead by example. And I understand sometimes saying things doesn't actually have an impact the way that I would hope, because, when I was growing up, your parents, they tell you not to do something, and human behavior sometimes says, oh, well, you can't tell me what I can and can't do, and then I'm going to do it, just out of spite of you saying that, right? So, and I don't want to say it's just my followers either. I mean, it's not just that. Like I said, if you think it's just the Democrats, I mean, what can I say to you, right? You're not going to believe me if I say it's not just the Democrats, right? Like I said earlier, we're going from one tragedy. Ray, how can I read the comments and actually speak? I can't do that, Ray. Again, if just don't engage. Just don't engage. All right? If you're getting worked up and it's going to push you to a place where you're going to show somebody a side of you that you're really not proud of, then just don't engage. That's what I recommend. I mean, I'm hearing stories this morning. People are losing their jobs because they're getting out here and they're getting ahead of themselves and saying some things that really, to me, don't truly reflect who these people genuinely are, right? But you've said it, you've put that energy out there, and now there's consequences, right? So, I mean, that's my position on it. And again, this is a difficult time for us. And then look at this. It's 9/11 all over again. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the nation isn't in pain right now. I understand it. And when people, they say hurt people hurt people. Why would I care about a racist? Decline. Do you want to come up here and check in, whoever asked me that question? You want to, because what I'll do is I don't mind checking in with people. I really don't. But if it devolves into a nasty conversation, then I'm going to have to kindly ask you to kind of let's move. I don't want to do that. But if you're truly genuine, then I can actually talk to you. Oh, they didn't send a guest request. They didn't send a guest. Why? You can send me a guest request. And again, Beyonce's dropped mic. Again, I'm not asking people to hate you for your belief, but you asked me a question, and why would I care? I care about human beings, and I also understand. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I understand violence begets violence, right? Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know to my degree, to what degree me expressing empathy will have an impact and turn somebody's heart from being a racist to a not racist. I don't even know if it's even possible. But I am worried more so about my soul, right? And so if you know what the good book says, if you're a person of that kind, save yourself, right? So the main thing is you can't control what's happening out there. This is another thing that I've learned, but you can control how you respond, right? And so that's why I just don't want to allow someone else's bad behavior to make me a bad person. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? I invited you up here. I'm not gonna. And you can see that this was on your platform, Zeus. Jamming. It's. What are you getting, Jamming, out of trying to assign liability to Big Zeus? It doesn't make sense. And this is the stuff that I'm talking about. If you're not trying to be a part of the solution, then you know what it is. All right. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Beyonce's dropped mic.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. My thing is, I don't think you should hold people to a standard that of people caring about somebody that was very harmful to a community and think we should be sympathetic over a harmful person. It's the same as somebody being empathetic about the H-man unaliving. And
You,
so,
well,
even though it wasn't as egregious, but his rhetoric was just as similar as as him. And so I don't think you should be saying, "Oh, how are you guys saying this type of stuff?" when he was causing so much harm to a community.
I got
So
it.
so I don't think you should be like demonizing people for feeling the way they feel about somebody that was so hurtful and said some very derogatory things to certain groups of people.
Well, if I demonize, who am I
Well,
demonizing?
you
I'm a little I
well
mean, and
you're
I'm not
saying
saying that I didn't say that, but because what I don't want to do is get defensive and not be able to take accountability for something that I may have said, right? So if I've said something like what you're describing, just I'm asking you to clarify it.
like I said, you were saying about I don't know how people can't empathize or I don't know, I guess feel sorrowful.
Well,
It's the
well, let
same
me
as
ask it
it's the
this way
same as
then.
Mussolini. It's the same as Mussolini. It's the same as anybody like the Confederate soldiers. It's the same It's the same idea of somebody passing.
Yeah, I get that, right? Can you see? Do you believe in humanity?
Of course,
Can you also, in all of that, what you have just said, acknowledge that he was a father?
of course, but he was also
Wait, wait,
a
wait.
terrible
No,
person.
hold on, hold on, because I believe this is a good discussion. And if you notice, when you were asking me questions, even though I'm disagreeing with you, I'm demonstrating that I'm still able to control my reaction, right? So
Am
I'm
I
not.
am I not controlling my reaction, or am
Well,
I
I'm.
speaking up?
I sense that we're getting defensive,
Oh no,
right?
just the way I talk.
Okay, well, if I'm talking and I'm just hoping
You just talk.
you're not
You just talk.
interrupting me while I'm talking, because when people interrupt me when I'm talking, I feel like they're getting defensive. Because you get what I'm saying. So I'm asking you, can you acknowledge that he's a father?
Of course. So was
Can
other Confederate soldiers.
right, right. I never said that, right? Can you acknowledge that he's married and has children?
Correct.
Okay. So, do you, and I asked you earlier, do you believe in humanity in general? Because to me, I would imagine you believe in equality and fairness and things like that, right?
Correct.
How do you, and this is something that I'm struggling with, and I'm being honest. is there ever a period where we should become as bad as the people we're basically saying is the problem?
I believe we can separate ourselves from harmful people and that we can live our lives independently. We don't have to dine our if they were harmful to a community or
And
created
and to be
created
fair,
created rhetoric against a certain group of people that cause violence and
yeah.
unaliving.
So
I
I
think
condemn the violence, right? And I've condemned Donald Trump's statements and
I
what
didn't say
Elon is
Donald Trump.
saying.
I'm talking about the one that unalived him. I don't care about. I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't agree with Charlie Kirk's statements, right?
So
So and I've also said I don't really follow him, right? So I feel like I have totally separated myself from him.
so him
I don't
passing
get
won't
down
have
with
an
the rhetoric
effect
that
on
he
me.
says, right?
Him passing won't have an effect on me because I already separated. So
Huh?
he could go on to whatever his family. I don't think his children should have seen what they saw.
There you go. That's my
But
point. That's the point I'm trying to tap into. I'm not sitting here trying to
but
say
you're telling us not to feel how we feel about the
no,
person.
no. I would never
You're
tell
saying
another
how
grown.
could you? How could
Hold on.
It's like
I don't
what?
hold on, Beyonce. I'm a grown man. I don't tell any grown man or person how to think and feel. I'm speaking from my own. You get what I'm saying? Like you got to live your own life. You got to live your own truth.
And we will. But
I'm
people
not
should tell
telling
people how to feel.
I'm not telling you how to feel. So I need you to take that back. I'm simply sharing with you how I feel. You can do whatever you want to do.
And
But
we will. But what I
I mean,
heard when I came in,
and so am I wrong for telling you to do whatever you want to do? I'm confused.
no, what
Okay, so
I wouldn't
am
have
I
said
wrong?
what I said
Hold on.
if you would have said
Am
that.
I wrong for at least asking people to think about what they do before they do it?
No, that's wisdom.
Okay then, bro.
That's wisdom.
Why is there an issue for me simply showing people
What
that
you
yeah, I
said,
can sit here and be very critical of Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk and the entire administration.
that's not what you said. But
Hold on. I've done how many I've done shows for years. You can't come onto my platform and look at me in one moment and say all that stuff you've done that goes completely out the window because this one moment where you're showing that you can actually be a human being and have concern and empathy for people. See,
no,
do you
no,
see
what
the
I
issue?
no, what I heard when I came in is that
Okay, but
they
when did you get
claim.
in? When did you get in? Did you listen to me from the very beginning?
I guess if it was more than that,
Okay, so
but
just
what I
admit you
heard,
didn't.
what
Just
I
admit you
heard
didn't. No. Did you
is
hear me
that
from the very beginning?
we shouldn't.
Hold on, Beyonce. Did you hear me from the very
I
beginning of
wasn't
my
here.
show?
I don't know if you started when I came
Okay,
in or
so
not.
why can't we just say no?
I don't know if I came in on the beginning or not.
See this, bro. I probably align with you for the most part politically. But when folks come into the middle of a moment and they
You were
act
in the
like
middle
they
of a
got the
sentence.
whole hold on, and then they act like they got the whole thing figured out, how does that help? I'm actually not even I'm not trying to be, hostile with you this morning because that's not what I woke up. There's a lot going on. But do you understand that that's not helping when you just come in here and just start piling it on and thinking you know how to what a person's saying and doing based off of your first 10 seconds of hearing what they said? That's not a good thing to
That's
do.
why I asked, why should we care? Because you were over here saying that we should care about such and such as care about this person. I'm like, after somebody being so harmful, you want us to just drop everything just because they got caught?
Are you asking me a question you want my honest answer? Or are you just, because I don't want to do this. I'm already feeling like my blood pressure is going up. But I'll tell you this. I won't tell you why you should care because like I said earlier, I don't control you, right? But I can tell you why I should care. Are you interested in hearing why I care?
Sure.
All right. I actually think that leadership starts at the top and we lead by example. I am not the person that could actually look up a family that has just lost their father or their mother or anyone and look them in their eye and just say how terrible of a person that person was. That's just not my DNA. You get what I'm saying? I'm
I'm
not that kind of person. So I
I'm not
believe
saying to
that
look at somebody's family and tell them that.
you asked me, and I made it clear you and me are distinct. We're not the same. So I'm giving you my honest way of looking at this. And in that spirit, I'm saying I'm going to make sure that I am measured in terms of how I deal with this and navigate this because I don't know the answers. I don't support the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk said, but I'm not going to go and tell his child, whatever it is you think I should be saying to their child. I'm not that type of person.
I
You get
wouldn't
me?
tell you to tell their child
Well,
anything.
but here's the
But
difference.
I will
Here,
also
here,
not tell people how to feel. And you already explained that you don't want to tell people how to feel.
I
The-
said
the-
I didn't tell you not to feel a certain way. Number one, and I said number two, when you're on social media, people circulate videos of you saying things, right? So there's a chance this conversation could get back to his wife and his kids. It could be sent to everywhere. My question is, in these moments that you and I are in now, does this truly reflect the best person you are? Yes or no? And
does
if this
it-
is the best you are, then that's fine, but that's not me.
what do you mean the best that I am?
Because I would
What's
actually
wrong with
think,
what I'm saying? Actually,
how old are
what do
you?
you think? What do you
How
think?
old are you? How
I'm
old are you?
30. I'm 34.
Okay, I'm
What do you think
42.
that? What's saying?
I'm
What do
30.
you think that I'm wrong?
I
And
never. I said
is this the best of me? What kind of question is that?
okay. So, do you
What are you
believe?
saying?
Do you
Did
believe
I say
like
anything? Did I say anything bad about or wrong about Charlie?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. You asked me what the best of you is. If you're applying for a position, right, and you turn in
Uh-huh.
your resume, don't you put the best version of yourself on there?
I put who I am.
Or do you put the best version of yourself though? Really? Right?
My accomplishments, yes.
Yes. And that's the point I want you to focus on, all right? That's the focus that I'm trying to get you to keep in mind. There's a lot more to you than you just being, looked at as a bad person. Make sure the statements that you're saying, they truly reflect the best of you. Make sure they line up with that person you're putting on the resume.
So I'm not celebrating his passing. I don't know if you're confusing that from what I'm saying. I'm saying that people are hurt and harmful for what
I
he has said, and they don't feel the same way other people are feeling.
people, but that's my point.
So,
But
and
my
you
point
and
is to
you're
regulate
expecting
yourself.
people, and people are expecting people to act like this is a martyr situation after a person was very harmful to a community.
All
So
right.
that's what I'm saying. It's not. I'm not celebrating his passing.
Well, are you doing we can wrap it up like this. Do you feel like you're navigating this in a healthy way?
I
That's the
bel I
If so,
believe.
then if not, then you know what? That's your choice. Do not listen to what I'm saying because I'm never telling people because then you're going to blame me for what, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you how to behave. All I'm doing is saying you
Hey,
might want to think about what you're saying
what?
and doing. All right?
Okay, okay.
You're 34.
But I don't understand why you're saying I should think about how I behave, like
Well,
as if I'm doing something that's like crazy
I didn't say
because
you were.
was harmful, and I don't feel the same way other people feel.
I'm starting to think like this conversation isn't being productive because I don't know what you're saying.
So
I don't get it.
you're saying that I should think about how I behave. How am I behaving? That's
When do
fine.
you stop thinking about how you behave?
But what am I? You're directing that question towards me, and I'm trying to see what am I doing that is wrong.
I didn't say you were doing anything wrong
So why was that question directed to me?
because I'm talking to you.
But so what? So are you saying I'm not behaving correctly? I
No.
don't. I'm confused.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so
confused at.
okay. So listen to what I'm saying.
Because I'm trying to see. Because you're saying the betterment of humanity and all this stuff, and I'm like, are you seeing
Sir, you
the
just
target?
asked me a question and then you're not letting me answer it and I
Because
got to move
I don't
on.
think because I don't think you have the broad spectrum of what I'm saying. Uh, I'm saying that there was a target audience that his rhetoric was spewed to, and that was harmed by it. And you're telling us that we have to watch how we behave.
Did I say everybody or was I speaking directly to
Well,
you?
I guess the people that have the same ideology as I do
What? I don't even know what your ideology is yet.
is we can feel like I said, I'm not celebrating what happened.
Okay,
I
so
don't,
hold on,
I don't
hold
believe,
on,
I don't
hold
believe
on.
in the violence.
And listen, I agree. I think we've talked for a good amount of time. I'll say this, and if you don't get it, fine. Maybe we could talk about it on another day. When I said watch how you are reacting, let me clarify what I meant by that. Everything you do on the internet is being recorded, right?
Correct.
Just keep that in mind. That's all. I don't know what that means and how to make that apply to you, but to me it's just saying, be more mindful about what we're saying and doing. It's not necessarily implicating you into being a bad person. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Move around and operate as though you understand you might have a higher calling, all right, and stay true to that, all right, and don't fall for the trap to become something that's not who you really are. It has nothing to do with all that other stuff that you're saying. You got me?
Whatever. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. Well, yes. All right. Yeah, and listen, I'm big enough to understand that there's people that are listening right now and they're probably looking at me and they're going, "I don't agree with you, Zeus," so to speak. But, you know, what can I say? What can I say? All right, let me bring up the next guest. Oh my goodness. Good
What's up,
morning.
man?
Yes, good morning, Rudy. How are you?
I agree with you. I handled it the same way yesterday. I understand what you're saying. I think a lot of people do. Uh, Regardless of what the man said, I didn't agree with a lot of the things the dude said. But
Correct.
yesterday we watched an American lose their life in a horrendous way. And I understand what you're saying that kid, his kids are going to see that footage. His wife's going to see that shit. It's terrible. And if we come up on these lives and we talk about political violence on January 6th, right? And
Yeah,
how we can't stand that. But
correct.
then but now we're going to sit here and rejoice in watching a man get taken down in a horrendous way because we don't like what he said. That's some silly shit.
Well, keep it
Okay.
clean. Now, you know we keep it clean, brother. You got to get me in trouble with my mom's. But yes,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like, come on, man. It's like this. It's like, and then I see people in here telling you don't tone police. This is your life. You don't tell this man how to speak in his life. This is his life. He built this sucker, man.
Yeah.
And if this man feels like he wants to give some respect to the man that passed away, he's allowed to do that. And if you don't like it, you can leave. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
Well,
Zeus, you don't ever let these people change you. You a good man. That's why a lot of people like you. Don't have these freaking weirdo people out here trying to get you to bend the knee to them. If you feel like you want to respect that man, or he lost his life, and you want to respect the family, you do that.
I'm always going to do that. I don't like the
Be you,
idea
man.
of uh, creating a cycle of hatred, right? And I can only imagine, because a lot of us have already experienced violence ourselves growing up at a very young age. It does a lot of harm to you, especially if you don't get professional help to address that. And so what I don't want to do is provoke the next generation to be, hateful, and stuff like that. So I think the burden is really on myself. Now, I am not by any means saying because that's what I'm doing, everybody else has to agree with me, but I'm giving people clarity as to why I am handling it this way. And I might be wrong, right?
I think too that we got a responsibility as people to hold these lives to conduct ourselves in a certain way because, like, look, let's be real about it, Zeus. We can have a situation where that was a lefty big time creator that got taken out. Would we want people sitting there holding lives and wishing that, laughing and
No.
doing that? We wouldn't like that, would we? Nope.
No.
So if we, and I try to tell folks, if you don't like that type of behavior, you can't become what you're fighting against. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we can disagree with Charlie Kirk. We can say this dude says some jacked up stuff, but we also say what happened yesterday was so god awful it should never happen in America, point blank. And we can't just become, because we're angry with Trump and Trumpism, so they start laughing and condoning political violence.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think that what you're saying is accurate, and again, I'm not uh, dismissing or ignoring what I saw yesterday and what I've seen over there on X from the right. All right, because to me, it's disgusting as well, especially those that are actually saying it's time to go after the Democrats. I looked at that and I said, what are we doing? What are we doing as a country right now? And that's why I'm focusing it on the anger. It's really anger. People got to get in control of their anger, and so you're right. You're right, moderate Democrat. All right.
Hey, I just keep doing you, man. You're doing a good job, and when you sometimes you have to stand on your toes, man. Just and keep with it because like you never gonna make these folks happy. You
Mm.
know that.
Yeah.
You know that. Some
Yeah.
people are gonna hate you no matter what you do. And you know what? If you believe in that, what you got to do, you do it, man.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, they can leave. That's like what you play that all the time on for. If they don't like it, they can leave, right?
Well, it's not me. It's Trump saying it. But you're
I know,
right.
but you can play it for them if you don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
I play. Yeah, I do. If you don't like it here, you can leave, and I
You
tell
can
them it's the
leave.
Thunderdome. Yeah, but you know what I appreciate is it's about challenging people's belief system. If your belief system keeps you feeling like everything you're doing is comfortable, then how do you grow, right?
I know.
And that's part of the success. I would say if people say I'm successful with what I do, it's because a lot of the conversations that you end up having, and you can even attribute this to possibly Charlie Kirk and anybody else that's out here creating content. And then people on the left, the big creators, you know who they are. It's really because you're able to actually challenge yourself to get uncomfortable and to start exploring ideas that you would not be able to explore if you stayed inside of your bubble, so to speak. And so it is what it is. All
I
right.
agree. I agree, man. We had that conversation yesterday. Very difficult conversation. I had people getting upset with me too, because like, look, I'm not going to sit here and rejoice in this dude getting losing his life like that. It was disgusting, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we as Americans, man, there's some things that we got to, you know, say we're not cool with this. Regardless of, yeah, I seen some people saying, "Oh, I'm white, so he didn't say nothing bad to me."
Yeah.
Hey, I thought some of the stuff he said was disgusting.
I know
I,
it was
I did,
disgusting. Yeah, it
yeah, it
was.
was. Yeah,
I
it
went
was.
through it yesterday, and I found I was very angry because I don't follow him, but the videos that were being sent to me and the things that he was saying, I was very angry about it,
Oh yeah.
and I can be honest about that. But I'm also like, it's like a villain, right? There's Batman and then there's Joker. I mean, if Batman starts doing what the Joker's doing, then we got two Jokers. Am I right?
Hmm.
That's the kind
Yeah.
of thing that I'm at to like. You want Batman because Batman's not the Joker, and so that's how I see things. And I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
And you're
Uh,
allowed to. And you're allowed to. And people have to get over it. You know, you don't have to tap. You don't have to tap dance for. That's how I tell them, man.
yeah,
Hey, you coming to me, man. You listen to me. I'm going to tell you the truth. And you tell them, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And you don't. I mean, you can look at the situation and say, man, this guy said some bad shit. But what
see,
happened
I got
yesterday? I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that this dude said some bad stuff. So you know what? Hey, but what took place should never happen.
yeah,
And if people rejoice in that, something wrong in them.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Something broke.
yeah. Well, hopefully we can, get something. Hopefully something good comes out of this.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, but like I said, I'd rather be part of the solution than to be part of the problem. All right,
I agree. I agree with you, man.
all right,
You're doing
brother.
it. You're doing a good job, man. Keep your head up. Don't let these people think they're gonna get to you.
Fair
You know.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna move it on. All
Thanks,
right, but
thanks for
as
letting me
always,
on, man.
thank you for checking in with me, and it's always good to
Come on,
hear from
buddy.
you. All right, let's go. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Let's see.
How's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah, it is a weird time. Something I want to say, and I'm not going to say this just to Democrats, and you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to separate this. This needs to go to everybody that is listening. As human beings, we cannot justify a horrible situation with a single person's behavior.
Hmm.
Okay, that's people need to remember in this country and we talk about the Constitution a lot, but people from our side seem to forget sometimes about what the Constitution says too. You need to remember somebody like Charlie Kirk had the right to say everything he was saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't a matter. These are political conversations and political ideals. Okay? Violence should never be, you should never justify violence with a behavior. You can't do it. We cannot have violence run our political nature. We all lose. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. You can't do it. Now, I understand that two things can be true at one time. You may not have all the empathy in the world for Charlie Kirk. That's okay. But you can't turn around and celebrate it either. We have to condemn the violence.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Val. I mean, that's where I'm at. Do you think that so here's the thing that I struggle with. You see the Trump administration doing all these harmful things, saying all these harmful things about us. In my opinion, put a target on our back in certain cases. I mean, to a certain degree, isn't that part of the problem too?
Absolutely part of the problem. Because you have a person up top that has condoned violence, not just, you know what I'm saying, but in the past
Yeah.
has condoned plenty of acts of violence. And that is where this leads us. Okay. Violence, just, you said it earlier in the live, violence begets violence. You know what I'm saying? And we can't have that. These are political conversations. If you want to disdain or not believe in somebody, don't listen to them. Sticks and stones, people, my Lord. I mean, do we have to really go back to childhood parables to make this understandable? Okay, these are the things that, these are the things. I mean, it what happened last night was the stick and the stone.
Yeah.
I can choose not to listen to words. I can choose not to, pay attention. I can choose to go against those words with my vote. You don't do it with violence.
Correct. Well, I agree, Val. And as always, it's a pleasure for you to actually be able to come up here. All
Oh
right,
yeah, I
sir.
understand. Thank you, sir. But
You're
I just,
welcome.
and man, people, come on. There's no celebration to be had here. None. None.
All right. You might end up being called back up here depending on what happens. I'm going to try to keep it light today though, because I don't really want to get too deep in the weeds. But I recognize we have to do what we have to do to start
Exactly.
trying to heal.
We
And so,
have to be better people.
yeah. And some of these conversations are definitely going to be very difficult, but I would rather have the conversation than for somebody to do something, that's just basically a reflection of the fact that they couldn't have the conversation. All right.
Right. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's my friend Val. All right. And again, it is what it is. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. This is interesting.
What's up, Zeus?
What's up?
I find it a little bit kind of crazy. Well, thank you for letting me up first and
You're
foremost.
welcome.
I find it a little bit crazy that you guys are talking about this stuff when y'all don't realize y'all already took out all that toothpaste out of the tube.
You're in what sense?
Well, for instance, let's say like I don't know, one of your followers that you left on your panel quite often attacking, he literally called for my execution on your live and nothing was said. See, here's a crazy thing,
Hmm.
Zeus. I've never had any beef with anybody.
Hmm.
People have never been my beef. It's always been with government. It's always been with government. I have family that are Democrats. I have family that are conservative, Republicans. I have family that just don't even do anything politically.
Hmm.
But you're talking about leadership. taking accountability, being responsible, so on and
Right.
so forth. When you yourself has actually put, when you yourself have pushed that for the last 4 years. And here's the thing, I don't know anybody on this side of the internet to not like them.
What do you mean you don't not like who?
I don't know anybody like you. I don't know you personally.
Right.
How, so
You
how
don't
can
know
I?
me.
Yeah. So how could I like you or not like you without knowing you? How could
Right.
I ask? How could I ask for your execution or anything like that in that manner because of your political stance? See, that happened on your platform. When you have labeled MAGA racist and white supremacist supporters and stuff like that happened on your platform.
Got it. So can
And then, and then the,
so I acknowledge that you believe all of that has happened on my platform. But I can sit up here this morning jamming and we can try to play the reel about what's happened on my platform, what's happened on your platform, right? But my question is this: what's the solution? Is just keeping a ledger, so to speak, of maybe what I think are things that you have done are terrible, really translating into the outcomes that you're looking for? Because I don't control anybody else on this app, right? Just like you're a content creator. Some of your friends probably got on your platform and said things that I don't think probably in your opinion reflect the true person you're trying to reflect as a man in your community. Am I right? I would imagine, even though you are not a Democrat or you're not a leftist, I would imagine where you are in the spaces that you're in, you try to be a good, well-to-do person in your community. Am I right?
oh, I know how to run my
No,
platform. And
I didn't.
yes, you're right. I
Thank you.
get that.
Okay, so
And
that's the that's the
I'm
that.
accountable for my platform.
So that's the thing. Like the other guest that was kind enough to come up here. My question is, are we being mindful on
Mhm.
the internet, especially, right? Because you have a respectful platform, right?
Oh,
That
continue with your question. Are we being mindful?
are we being mindful of what we're saying and doing? And does it truly reflect the
Yeah.
person you strive to be in the communities that you're in? Not
So
just on
are you?
TikTok, but offline.
So are you?
Am I?
Yes, are you?
Yeah. I can truly say that. Now,
See,
I
so
also
what
could
I'm,
go one step further, Jam, and then I could say, do I always get it right? No.
it's every day, Zeus. It's every day.
So,
It's every day on your platform. This ideology of hate continues to get pushed against MAGA. Okay, like you did it with Janae and Stacy. You've been doing this. What I'm trying to say,
so,
Zeus, is on my platform, when individuals come on my platform and they say something in a manner that I don't agree with, it is always in defense of something that was said to them. This is the first time I've ever been on your platform, ever. I
and
don't,
let me and
I
let me
don't come
ask
to,
you,
I
let
don't
me
come to your
ask you,
platform.
let me ask you, if this is really your quote first time on my platform, is what they're saying about me true?
Yeah, you want me to play a video?
No, this you can play whatever video you want, but it's based on how you're getting an interaction with me. Is all the stuff they said about me true? Are you feeling like I'm doing anything harmful to you, saying anything harmful to you?
No, I'm talking
Okay,
about the
so that's number
rhetoric
one.
in
So
regard.
no, no,
I'm talking
and
what? Hold
jamming
on,
and
Zeus,
jamming.
because you're
So
trying to
you didn't answer
pigeonhole
my
me.
question.
What
You
you're
didn't.
trying to pigeonhole me
You didn't
because
answer it.
I'm talking about your live. I've never been on your live. I've seen your videos.
Based
You
on
can
your
go to Google.
interaction with me one on one right
Go
now,
ahead. Go ahead. Let
based
me
on
know
the
when you're done.
interaction you're having with me right now, is what they're saying about me true, jamming?
From what I've seen on your platform,
You
yeah,
haven't been
it's pretty
here.
true.
You haven't been here before. You
I'm
said.
talking about your videos. I've
Oh,
never
so
been in your live.
okay,
I'm talking about your videos.
so you're taking snapshots of things that I'm saying, which is kind of what I got on the other guest about, and you're not taking the full picture into account because
Zeus,
you
have
haven't
we
seen
not
it.
been on the same panels in other people's lives?
Okay, so yes, we
Have
have.
we?
Yes, we
Oh,
have.
okay. So we've been doing this song and dance and stuff for at least 3 years now, right?
No, not really.
Two, 2 years.
Not here's the thing, Jammin.
No,
As much
yeah,
as I
yeah, about two
here's the
years.
thing, as much as I want to make this about you and I, we got to do that another time. Because
No,
I'm
why,
honestly
Zeus? Because you're
because
talking about being accountable and
yeah.
not spreading hate.
Yeah.
You're talking about like we shouldn't be doing
And you're
this,
not
that, third, and I did
and
it.
you're not
Let
talking
me know.
about
Let me
that.
know when you're done.
And you're not talking about being accountable. You want to go and do stuff that's tied to all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? When I'm doing that kind of content, then yeah. But right now, this isn't that program.
Well, so is there two Zeuses then? Is there just making my video Zeus and then live Zeus? Because in the end, Zeus, it is your platform. You said
Yeah,
I have a big platform. It's respectful. And with that comes great responsibility, does it not, Zeus?
yeah.
So whenever you're making the videos painting one side of the country, just because they voted for Trump or they supported Trump, in the end, like I said and I stated, the people have never been my problem. It's always been government.
Okay,
But
then.
you guys have been peddling this hate for the last 8 years. That
Okay.
now that the toothpaste is out of the tube, you want to try to put some stuff back in. Like in the end, you had a responsibility
Well,
for your platform,
Jamin,
and you run
Jamin,
it how you want.
Jamin, I'll say this. You and I are just gonna have to disagree on that. I don't perceive calling out bad behavior the way that you do it. All right, you're labeling it all of that. My platform has been about bringing the truth and highlighting the hypocrisies going on within MAGA. All right.
So
And I
I'm
don't want to
about
get into
that.
that
I'm
right
not
now.
in
I
this.
don't I don't want to go through the laundry list of things that I could actually bring up to show you and explain to you why. But I would encourage you to come back on another day when I'm doing a live, and we can actually
Okay,
iron out.
the reason,
And we could actually iron
respectfully,
out. Hold on, we can actually iron
well,
out
the main
every
reason I'm
single
here,
thing that
though,
I'm talking about. But today is not the day.
I understand.
This is about trying to figure out ways to come together. And what I'm hearing you say is you have a problem with the left and you have a problem with this, and you aren't trying to really own the contributions that you have
I,
made as
I'm,
well. Because I can
I'm
guarantee you,
literally trying to
jamming,
explain to you.
jamming, I could bring up so many other people up here if I wanted to that would basically say jamming is not being very truthful. And I don't want to even do that to you right now because it's not in the interest of what I'm
You're
trying to
talking about
accomplish today.
unity. You're talking about unity, and I'm
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
my
address that.
platform.
No, and I'm trying to address that. It's difficult
Okay, so
with
what are we
people
going
on
to
the
do,
right.
jamming, to come together?
Are you gonna let me talk, or
What are we going to do to come together if you answer my question?
I'm trying to get you to understand there's some people on the right that don't want to because of the hate that you guys have peddled, you included, that the toothpaste is out of the tube. And there's just some people that are like, no, you guys had the ability to not do certain things, but you did it anyway. You continue to spread your hate after we asked you guys to stop.
Well,
And
here's the thing.
now that what happened, we have two little kids no longer going to have their father. You got a wife, Erica, who I've met by, mind you, and Charlie Kirk. And as crazy as this may sound, when I was at the RNC Zeus, I actually had a conversation with Charlie about this possibly happening. I asked him I, in conversation, he asked me about the hate I get from the left and how bad it's escalated. And this was just a few days after President Trump's uh, unaliving attempt
But
had
okay, but
happened.
jamming. With all due respect, I'm not trying to take anything away from your direct knowledge of what's happening within MAGA and the relationships that you have with a lot of the creators and the political figures within MAGA. That's not what I'm trying to do this morning. All I'm trying to do is say this, and you could take it for whatever it is that you want. The anger and the outrage needs to stop, right? And if you're trying to come up here and try to say, well, Zeus, because every single day you call out Donald Trump and his supporters for their hypocrisy, you are contributing to that. I'm just going to ask that you kind of say, okay, you said what you had to say, but I disagree emphatically with that. All right. Actually, if you want me to lean into it, I would actually make the argument Donald Trump is contributing to most of this. And that's going to open up another can of worms that I don't have time to address right now. But for MAGA to sit up here and try to portray themselves as the most innocent group of people in this country, I don't buy that. I don't buy that
Well,
at all. And there's nothing you can say to convince me of it.
there's a reason why I don't watch your videos, stitch your videos, duet your videos. I don't, right? Because I don't want to contribute or partake in any more of that
That's your
kind of
right.
division, right? Because you have the right for your opinion, the same way Charlie Kirk did, and he got his life taken. And in the end, all I'm talking about is this stuff right here. If it don't apply to me, I let it fly.
And so that's part of the solution that I was asking you to speak more about, right? Is there any other things you can say along those lines, Jamin, that could actually start to help people, see this and try to do something good as opposed to just doing like you and I have already been saying has been done. The same old song and dance. What else?
Um, being true to your word. If you say that if you're not gonna allow certain types of behavior or certain things to be said, then do it. Don't say it one day, then 2 to 3 days later go
Uh,
back to the old you, because that's what I was getting at in regards to being accountable and responsible for your actions, your words. And if you got a platform like this, you shouldn't be allowing anybody, regardless of who it is, to openly ask for the execution of Jam and Blue. Like, let's not be a
Nobody's doing
hypocrite.
that. Number one, nobody's
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah, your buddy attacking them. That's
Nobody's
my
doing that on
point,
my
Zeus.
platform.
Charlie
Nobody's
Kirk
doing
got
that.
what
Jamming,
happened to Charlie
jamming,
Kirk yesterday
jamming,
was
jamming.
because of
Out of
things
listen,
just
listen,
like this.
listen. I'm not going to get up here and start telling you what I've heard people on your platform saying about me. All right, and if
You
you may,
lie.
if and especially you,
They're not talking about taking your
no,
life.
especially you.
That
So
you
I
lie.
would encourage us to just keep it between you and me and not bring in people who aren't a part of the discussion and what y'all have been doing and saying on TikTok when that's you are all adults. All I'm going to say is this. That's actually in line with what I was saying. You need to regulate what you're saying on this app because words do have meaning. And that includes you.
And it happened on your platform.
That includes you.
Asking for the open execution of me happened on your
Jamming,
platform, and
jamming,
you're trying to
jamming,
lecture
jamming.
me.
Listen, I've already told you I don't know what you're talking about, and it didn't happen on my platform. If you're going to continue to insist it did, then you know what? I'm going to have to move on. I'm
Then
not
I'll
going to
go.
sit here. I'm not going to sit here.
You don't like being called out, Zeus. You don't like being called out with your hate that you allow to be spread. And what
Okay.
happened to Charlie
Okay. Well,
Kirk
you just called
yesterday?
me out. You just called
Well,
me out, jamming. You
I'm
took
talking about if you want to make it move forward and you want
jamming.
to stop this hateful divide and rhetoric. This is how it starts, Zeus. There's got to
No.
be acknowledgement. There's got to be change. Okay? There's got to be acknowledgement and change. This is why you muted me on this very account from the things I was saying in the chat. And all I was
Well,
saying was
how did you
what
get back
happened.
on my platform if I've muted you? I mean, this is crazy. I don't know what the heck you're talking about, bro. You act like you and I have been talking and doing all these things. I don't know where you're getting this from.
I cannot comment on the account I'm on right now because your mods muted me.
Oh,
So So I came up as to talk about this because I do look at Erica and her two little kids that are now not going to have a father.
gosh, this
Erica's not going to have a husband. Like the way she looked at that
your
man
account's not
was
muted,
like, look,
Jammin. Your account's not muted.
no, Zeus, this account's not muted. The one I'm screen recording this very comment, this account's not muted. The account I'm on your live right now is muted in the comment section.
Well, okay. Well, then I didn't know that part. So look, there's always more to the story. All right, Jammin. You know what I do? I'll say this. I'm glad that you came onto my platform and called me out this morning. All right. I'll think about what you said. But I hope you at least return the favor and think about what I've been saying to you. And you work with the folks that are on your side that are pushing this narrative without the facts that it's the Democrats doing all of this. That's totally not true. And we've been through this with the Butler incident. You all blamed us and said it was us and it wasn't. I hope the folks on your side, jamming, and you do look at them and say, listen, I spoke to Zeus. I called him out to his face. And now the standards have been made and set. We can no longer continue to go around here and do what we've been doing. I hope you do that. All right, jamming? Because I listen to you air your grievances. I listen to you call me out, so to speak. But it can't just be Zeus has to do all the work.
Zeus,
Fair enough? Fair
I
enough?
I call
Fair
my
enough?
people
Fair
out.
enough? Fair enough, brother?
I call my people out
Fair
just
enough.
like I was doing yesterday. Those
Fair
that wanted
enough.
to ask
Jamming?
and call for civil
Jamming.
war stuff like that,
And
that's not
jamming.
what I'm
And
about.
jamming. And here's the deal. Here's the difference. Right? I'm going to hold myself to a standard regardless of what other people look at me. Right? Because that's just the type of.
We've already
Because,
seen your track record.
okay. Okay. So then you know what
You
I'm
made
talking about.
you made that promise to Janae and
No.
Stacy, and then 3 days later
Bro.
you turned around and went right back after them again.
No. And that we'll deal with that. So, Jammin, thank you for coming on. And because you know what? Believe it or not, it's a miracle you did come here. Believe it or not. All right. And let's just hope folks took what they can from this conversation and recognize that, listen, even if these people are on two different, completely different sides of the aisle, they were able to have this conversation. And I totally disagree with a lot of what you said, Jammin, seriously. But I know you
I
disagree with what I'm saying. Fair enough.
no, I didn't disagree with what you were saying.
Well, there's
I
some
didn't
things you
disagree.
do.
I'm just pointing out with what happened. And
Yeah.
in order for us to come together as a country, there's got to be acknowledgement of the real issue. And sometimes that looks like you got to look internally. You got to reflect on the things that people have said, you've allowed on your platform, because we
I'll
do
do a
have a
better job, Jammin. I will try my best to do a better job. All right.
right. Well, you have a
Anything
good day.
else? All right. You
Now,
too.
y'all
All
be
right.
safe, everybody.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, I mean, like I said today, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize and I do acknowledge that the format of the show is different than what I genuinely do. But I felt like today was more of a check-in. It's a temperature check because I want to check and give people, some of the people, at least an opportunity, and including myself, to start healing and getting through this very, very difficult time. All right. Let me see. Good morning, Takesha.
Good morning, Zeus. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You?
Okay. I'm fine. I'm gonna come in this morning like a minister because I feel like some things need to be said. And some things I may say people might not like. But you know me. At the end of the day, I don't care. But I'm gonna start off and say, may the work that I have done speak for me. That's a song. May the work that I have done speak for me. My pastor did a message called Between the Dash. And the dash comes in between the start of your life and the ending of your life. And the question he posed was, what did you do between the dash? Because at the end of the day, that's all the Lord care about. He don't care if you was a influencer. He doesn't care if you were a singer. He doesn't care if you were a dancer. All he's concerned about is what did you do with the life that I gave you? I don't think anyone has the right to take anybody's life. I think that if you didn't give a life, you shouldn't try to take a life. Now, I have a problem with people saying that he was unalive because of his political views. We don't even know who did it. We don't know if he did something personally to that person or not. So we gotta stop trying to give an alibi or whatever to why it happened. Until we get who did it, we don't know why it happened. We cannot get mad at people who do not have empathy, because you can't in these days have selective empathy. And my thing is that you cannot mourn one hateful person if you don't mourn the next. That's being hypocritical. I just heard Jammin say those kids are without a father. That wife is without a husband. How many fatherless children do we have, and widowed women? We read articles about people getting unalived every day, but we don't talk about it. We read the article and we scam on. My problem is, do you have to be famous to get empathy? Do you have to be famous for people to try to come together? Why can't we come together off of just a run-of-the-mill person on the street who lost their life by someone else's hand for something they believed or didn't believe? I didn't agree with nothing Charlie Kirk said. Do I think somebody should have took his life? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to fall out on the floor with a box of Kleenex. I'm not going to do that.
All right.
May the work that I've done speak for me. The president is going to make a statement today. You have lowered the flags to half staff. Y'all didn't even want to do that for the funeral of the late president because it was inauguration day. Kids are getting gunned down, getting pew-pewed in schools, in churches. We never lowered this flag for them. He didn't even make a statement on those kids that were pew-pewed in the church. But you lowered the flag for Charlie Kirk. That's selective empathy. Then you turn around and say the radical left. That ain't doing nothing but stoking the fire of hate and division from the man who is supposed to be in the position to bring us together. It's not gonna get any better. I keep telling y'all, this world is not gonna get any better because you have people who have dark hearts, who are in leadership, who don't care if we together or not. Period. Point blank.
Well said. Well said. I agree, Takesha. Let me ask you a question that's been tugging at me. Is there ever a point in the way that person treats you where you feel like it's okay for you to become as bad as the person that you're having an issue with?
No, you're never supposed to, your actions are never supposed to be based on somebody else's action. Because the Lord said, even the people that you have done you wrong, Zeus, the person who is stronger, even if you know you didn't offend them, he wants you to go to them and apologize
Ain't that
because
something?
they are weaker than you. How many times are we supposed to forgive people, Lord? 70 times 7. You know why he said that, Zeus? Because after that 70th time, you're going to forget what you forgiven them for. So forgiveness starts again. So we don't have to act like those people because at the end of the day, we're not them, Zeus.
Yeah.
If you did something ugly, I don't have to mimic what you did to me because I got to treat you the way I want to be treated. And if I treat you bad, apparently I want to be treated bad because it says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's why you got to be careful what you do in this life when it comes to other people.
The dash you were talking about.
In between the dash, what did you do to fulfill the kingdom? What did you do to build the kingdom? What did you do to draw others to Christ in between the dash? At the end of the day, I promise you, that's all that matters. Zeus, the Bible says, man, it is appointed once for man to unalive and then the judgment. We don't get to tell the Lord how or when to take us out of this world because our time is already numbered. So regardless to if he fell out just from falling out, it was Charlie Kirk's time. Ain't nothing we could do about it because we didn't give breath and we can't exhale it.
That's sad. That's true. Thank you. Well, thank you, Takesha. That's mighty powerful message today, and I got a lot to think about on top of that. All right.
You're welcome.
Did you cover it all, or is there something else you want to say?
I think I'm done, Zeus. What I want to say today, is that I pray that y'all's president don't say something that will cause more division than the right. And I'm going to say the right. Because, Zeus, I noticed when Jammin was talking, it was always you and the left that was doing wrong.
Yeah.
And stoking it. But he never called out his side for the things that... Did you see the comments that those people made when that lawmaker and her husband were unalive, were disgusting?
What about Nancy Pelosi's husband?
Not even... Yeah. But they didn't see that, Zoo, because woe is you, but forget what I do. That's their motto. Woe is you, but forget what I do. That's what I mean when I say selective empathy. Okay?
Yep.
That's all Miss Kiki got to say, Zeus.
All right. Well, thank you. And you kept it short and sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Takesha. Thank you. All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you for coming in and checking in this morning. Seriously. This is what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a lot happening today. I'm trying to, have an open mind as much as possible. All right, don't worry. I'm gonna try to get to as many folks as I can. I said I was only going to do an abbreviated show, but I might actually do the full show. Hey, good morning, Shay. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. You know, this is why I consider you a friend. This is a lot. This is good that what you're doing here today. And you're showing leadership. And just like what so many of us have said, none of us are perfect. None of us have been perfect on this app, right?
Yeah.
So we can come on and say, hey, can we do better here and there? Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what we're not going to do is to accept the demonization of our side
Right.
by the leader of this country.
Right.
We're not going to do that, because you guys can get up here and say you when you're not calling out the president of the United States. If you want Zeus to be better than the president of the United States, you might want to go get your head checked. You might want to get your head checked, because he was elected by the people of this country and he swore an oath to our Constitution.
Yeah.
So Zeus didn't do that. I didn't do that. Jammin sure as hell didn't do it. I mean, let's be real honest. What we do here on this platform is very minimal compared to what the president of the United States has as his bullhorn. Same with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend to go after small creators on TikTok or people on TikTok when I don't hear you calling out the president of the United States, when he had an opportunity to bring this country together. And he always fails at doing that every single time. He didn't ask to lower the flag in fact, he griped about lowering the flag for Jimmy Carter, because when a president passed away, it's supposed to be for a month. And that was going to get into his first month of presidency. He didn't like that. Okay. But when it comes his time, right, he's going to want that flag lowered, and his supporters going to want that flag lowered for a month for him. And I sit here, and what about Melissa Hortman and her husband and their dog?
Right.
And Hoffman being attacked by a far-right creator. Right?
And the governor of Pennsylvania, right?
And the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro's house being set on fire. When you look at the statistics, it says it very clearly where the violence is actually coming from, and it is far-right extremists, period, bottom line. Most of the school shooters are white young men. But when we have people like Charlie Kirk and so many people on the right that want to demonize groups of people, yeah, you're going to bring ire onto yourself. He spewed racist rhetoric. And so we cannot ask our fellow black brothers and sisters to be kind to his passing. We cannot. We cannot. We cannot ask trans people to be kind to his passing. We cannot ask women to be kind to his passing. We can say, and we can be better people, yes, because when I saw the unalivement of Charlie Kirk, it hit me hard.
Yeah,
That's
because anybody
horrible
could be in
loss.
that position. Any creator could have been in his position too, right? And that's what
Yeah.
makes it even more alarming. It's like, wow, his family was there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it devastated me. Listen, we have to remain human. And this is what I'm going to say to my beautiful people, my beautiful friends, and everyone on here. We cannot lose our humanity through politics. Please. We are all human, and we have to say what happened to Charlie was wrong. It was absolutely wrong. We need to call it out. That doesn't mean you have to sit here and say, well, I didn't like the dude. We can say that. We didn't like the dude. I thought his rhetoric was very dangerous, and he was getting into the hearts and minds of our youth. He condemns college, meanwhile going to college campuses. Come on. None of that. He was a paid provocateur. He chose that path. And no, I don't think and listen, and here's the thing. You guys look ridiculous. We don't even know who the unaliver was. But I can tell you this, that was a professional hit. That was not somebody that has got pictures of Charlie Kirk in his locker and oh my God, he's got X's on him and oh my God, he's going crazy, you know? That was not a guy that just lost his mess and he's a Looney Tooney. That was planned and it was a professional hit. Anybody that sees it knows exactly what that was. Okay, so be clear. We can't say this was even politically driven. We could go deep conspiracy theories, but I will not do that because I'm not a conspiracy.
Yeah, I have my own thoughts too, and
We all have our own thoughts. I find it weird that the president of the United States announced he was gone. Why did Trump do that? That was weird. I'm sorry. I've been on this planet almost 55 years.
Well, the only thing that I had
needs to be the ones to announce that.
I don't want to do the conspiracy shade.
I know,
the thing that threw me off though was we got him and then we don't from the FBI director.
Yeah.
It just instantly made me think of what they did with the e-files. But outside of that,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
like,
we
what's
can all
going
tie
on?
this to reuniting his base, like Butler did. We can do all kinds of stuff. But what I would encourage the right to do is to hold your own accountable, right? Hold your own side accountable before you come over here, trying to hold anybody else accountable. I find it funny because I know Jammin's been on your panel a few times. You know that.
I know, but I didn't want to get
It's
into
so
I didn't want to get into all of that. I just wanted to at least just it took a lot for him to come over here, right?
And I will say what Attacking said on your live was not right. And Attacking knows I'll call him out.
So he did do it.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Okay, well then
I
there
sent
you
it
go.
to
Well, okay, well then Attacking wasn't right then.
No, he
did
wasn't
that.
right what he said. He wasn't.
I'll take your word, Shay. I'll take your word.
We have to be careful what we do on here. And I'm going to work on being better as well, right?
See, that's accountability.
It's accountability. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to hold ourselves accountable. And, you're running a show. A lot of times you're just listening. You're probably zoning off sometimes, not really catching what people are saying.
Because a lot of you get very, very long-winded. It's the same record every time.
You get kind of long-winded, kind of emotional, and you just do this and you just do that, and I get it. But yeah, we got to be better people. We really do. We don't, and that is fine. But I'm laughing my butt off from that group to sit here and go, oh, Zeus, please. We have video after video.
Yeah.
We have time after time the stuff that you guys have said about us and called it. It's just silly. So to get on here and act like, okay, Jammin, we will call out Attacking for what he said. It wasn't right.
All right. What exactly did he say?
I mean, I can play it, but he did call him a traitor and that traitors need to be, gotten rid of.
Got it. Attacking?
All
right.
It wasn't right.
Not good, Attacking.
Yeah. Okay, Attacking. I'll send it to you. But yeah, so it wasn't right. And he needs, I would like him to own that. And I think he wasn't, you did, Attacking. You did.
You did say that. Well, then that's not good, bro.
Yeah.
We can't talk like that. Are we going to apologize for that, Attacking?
I mean, we do have to do that. We have to be right about this. Because Jammin, whether we agree with him or not, he is a veteran.
No.
We can't do that.
No.
Well, Attacking.
Hold on. No, the verbiage, what Janae said is that I threatened to unalive him. Now, hold on.
You did not do that, correct.
Right, that I did not do.
No.
I did say that traitors to the Constitution in the United States, just like they have said that Obama should be executed as well, they have said that. Yes, I think any veteran who's a traitor to the United States should be held accountable, just like they say that traitors to the United States should be unalived through the legal process of court. You know how that is, execution. All right? Yes, I think Jammin Liu, who took an oath to the United States to protect the United States against all foreign and domestic T groups, which he supports a sitting president attacking our capital, trying to overthrow the government.
But
Yes,
Are
every
we?
veteran.
You're commanding that he be unalived?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying that just like they call out traitors to be unalived through the legal system, as traitors get unalived, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say it on your platform. Traitors who go through the court systems are gone through the system and given the so-called unaliving order, kind of like the unaliving penalty. You know, when people commit murder,
yeah,
you get the unaliving penalty.
yeah.
I think a traitor to the United States, just like they do too, in their own broadcast, say that Obama should be unalived/executed.
Are they saying Obama should be unalived?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Nobody should be saying that.
But the
Nobody
thing
should.
is this:
Nobody should be
they're
saying
gonna-
anybody should get unalived. I mean,
Well, no, they're talking-
punishing
they're
someone
talking-
to the fullest extent of the law.
But that's
okay.
the fullest extent. But hold on, through the
Well, then
legal system, through the fullest extent of the law, through the militaries, the traitors do get unalived.
Well,
through the
okay,
legal system.
I get it. Okay, so not really happening, but basically they're no longer allowed to be a part of society. I think that's what you're trying to get at, because if it goes beyond that attack, if it goes beyond that, I
using
can't
their
do
words.
it. I
I'm
can't.
using-
But listen, it goes to the point
I
attacking,
get
and
it, but we can't sink to their level attacking.
that's the point I was saying. I mean,
We are.
you know, I try to be like, you know what, people can have their own opinion, but I can't openly support
But you're not
somebody calling for
but you're not understanding through the legal system of the United States of America.
get that
if
part.
a traitor goes to court
I
and
get
they're
that.
found guilty of espionage or whatever
But-
it might be, they through the court systems are unalived through the court system.
I get that, but not
All right.
okay. But we have to make sure that we don't become as bad as they are.
That's not as bad. I'm just talking about the court system. I'm not talking about them in himself as a personal level. I'm talking about through the court system in itself, because they're using the same rhetoric, just like Tulsi Gabbard and Nancy Mace are saying that our politicians who are traitors should be gone through
Yeah,
the courts and
but-
unalived.
But if I can be real honest about that,
Yeah, go ahead.
if they say that, I still think I have a problem with me using that to justify me being something I'm not. Does that make sense? And just to make sure
I'm
there's
not
no
for the unaliving penalty either. I'm not for the unaliving penalty
Okay.
unless it's absolutely necessary.
and-
But the thing is this: if they're going to say that Barack Obama, who has not committed a crime,
yeah.
is saying that he should also be executed, I'm sorry. Again, I use their words against them that they put forth to us and people who are innocent of any crimes as they're making up things. So I use their words. And then the thing is, I didn't personally say I was going to do it. I'm talking about the court system.
I agree. It shouldn't be you threatened to.
Exactly.
Well, would
Exactly.
it be best if we going forward though not even encourage that? I mean, because there's a lot of people listening and they don't have the context. You could see how things like this could easily get
Understandable.
taken out of context,
And
right?
you just give them fodder as
Understandable.
Well, fair enough, attacking. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I don't
that's
think
all it
I
is.
think that serves as it doesn't serve us any good in terms of trying to get the results we're trying to get when we engage in that type of, if you would have been like, okay, a traitor should be punished to the fullest extent of the law, and that's fine. But if you escalate it and then you get into that area of saying the unaliving penalty and all these other things, it doesn't, to me, it does not help the cause. But I get
again,
what you
the thing
mean.
is
I
this,
get what you
the thing
mean.
is this. The thing is this. I'm not making anything up on a legal aspect.
I get that.
All right.
And I think that Jam and Lou should re-listen to it
Yeah, I haven't heard it, by the way. I don't remember
and
it.
know that you didn't call for his, like you were going to do it. But
Exactly.
but-
that's what's irritating. Yes.
he
I think-
obviously is going to take offense at you calling him a traitor and then lining him up with
Well, I'm
traitors.
sorry when he says that he took an oath as a military person. Also within that oath, you're supposed to protect the United States at all costs through in regards to foreign and domestic T groups. He supports Donald Trump, who attacked the United States Capitol building as a sitting president. He lied to the American people. if Jab and Lou is going to be a real military person who takes his oath serious, then he should go against Donald Trump and what he's done to the American people, attack the United States Capitol building, and trying to become the first dictator of the United States.
I understand that. I listen. That is how we feel about. We don't understand people that can support that man after January 6th. We get it.
Yeah, and as they
To
put
know that they don't think that's what happened. So
exactly,
how they
and that's the
justify it.
thing.
And
And that's the thing. As they lie about the situation, how can you say you're for the Constitution and the rule of law when you ignore the facts of the actual attack of the Capitol, which caused 6 people to lose their life? See, they don't care about that either, right? They're calling in that group that we're talking about right now, have said that the person who unalived Ashley Babbitt should be also executed. They themselves
Well,
have said that.
I don't like using those terms on the show. How about
I know.
that?
I don't know what to use.
I don't
I
want
don't
to
like
use
it.
any of that stuff. I mean, I get it, but I think going forward, I would feel a lot more better if we just don't even use those terms on my show.
I got you.
I'm not saying you don't have a right to feel the way that you do,
Yeah.
but I just think it opens up a door that I don't want to really entertain. But I totally respect why you said what you said, Attack.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. I get you. Look, listen, we all feel the same way. We don't understand. And the stuff they say, that's why I called out Jam and Lou coming over here all like, oh,
Yeah.
no, we
If-
know
if-
they have said some horrific things.
If there was audio where I said that I was going to do that to Jam and Lou myself personally, like misspeaking, I would own it and apologize immediately.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I have audio of Day, Angel, other people in that group wanting to find me and do bodily harm to me. We have the audio,
That's true.
and I've played it.
And call in the FBI.
Right, exactly. So if they're
Call the
going to
FBI on
try,
everybody.
if they're going to try to point the finger, then they have to realize that they're doing the same thing that they're complaining about, like with how Zeus, how we've been told that they're getting unaliving threats from you and I because of what our rhetoric is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not true either.
Exactly.
'Cause
But
they
see,
know
I
it's-
do have audio.
Yeah.
I do have audio.
Yeah.
I have been called a P3D ... by Janae
Yeah.
over 18 times, and I've got
Me
that
too.
audio.
Yeah.
Me too. So
So-
that's why I didn't want to entertain that. Honestly, I'm like,
No, exactly.
what world are we living in where you don't see what you've been doing to and attacking? You said this. We wouldn't even be on TikTok, honestly, if they would just simply be honest about the stuff that's going on in this country. We wouldn't even have to do
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
And the thing is as I'm listening to you, I'm putting together a barrage of comments from Donald Trump from way back when, attacking people, saying beat them up and I'll pay your legal fees. Donald Trump's laid this foundation of hate and division between the American people. Donald Trump is the one who's attacked people. Donald Trump's ignored people like Shay just said about the 2 Minnesota people who were pew-pewed, and he didn't say anything about it. And then you have people on their side lying about the Minnesota children, saying that adding Uvalde and other unalivings, saying that they're from the transgender group.
No, I
When
know.
100 out of 197 mass pew-pewings was 192 done by straight white guys. They have to fabricate additional transgender doing these things. So they have to even lie about the statistics to put their rhetoric out there because they hate this group.
Yeah.
They're saying they're all mental issues. See, they don't like them. So they're also attacking people unnecessarily and making things up.
Yep.
And we
That's
got
right.
that on audio tape and on my pages too.
I
So
agree with attacking. And that's why I said you cannot ask us to be kind, right? About what happened to Charlie Kirk. But what we can say, because what he said was a lot of harmful, hateful, evil rhetoric. Period. End of story. But what we can do is condemn the political violence. Correct?
Exactly. And then,
We
and then
don't
what
have
about
to be kind
Fair
about it.
enough. Fair enough.
and then
Now,
what
listen,
about Donald Trump? And then what about Donald Trump saying that Liz Cheney should be having in her face
Yeah.
9 rifles?
No, exactly. We could go on and on attacking 100%.
we know it.
Exactly.
We know it. We know it, and that's why I didn't take the bait attacking. But what I do hope is that if Jamin is still listening, that he sticks to the agreement him and I struck, right? Because I told him I would try to do better. I don't mind taking that
Right.
criticism if it results in the outcomes that could be achieved. But I will be looking forward to seeing that, what's done has already been done. But if it continues, then it's going to be more of what we've already been seeing, and then it's like, well, don't ask me, all right? But we're trying to do something different, hopefully, that actually turns things around in a positive direction. All right. Now I got to move it on because your mutuals,
right,
they're
guys.
getting on me and they're saying they want to be
I
heard.
love you guys. All right.
All right, ladies
thank
and
you,
gentlemen,
Steve.
thank you. That's attacking, and
Thank you,
that's Shay.
everybody.
Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. All right. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we got a very diverse audience up here this morning, and I'm trying my best to do what I can to keep this thing on the rails. All right, and no, everyone doesn't have to agree with me. I'm totally okay with that. But one thing is true: my values haven't changed. Good morning, Ange.
Good morning. I actually wanted to bring up something different, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Today is 9/11. 24
Yeah.
years ago today, we lost 2,977 people, and that ensued into a 2-decade-long war. And I think that needs to be remembered today. That I find that to be
Yeah.
very important.
My.
I tried to focus somewhat on that
Mm-hmm.
because I think we
Good.
can all tell you where we were when it happened, and it was horrific.
Yeah.
And so we could maybe focus on that today. This is a very somber day. Think of all the families today that, no offense, they're not thinking of Charlie Kirk. Probably they're thinking of how much they miss their loved ones that were unalived on that day, on that horrible attack by those Teists.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go tit for tat here, but I will just say one thing, and I won't use names. I think many of you on here that have known me for a while, a couple of years ago, the group from the right, not Jamin, I don't believe, because there was 300 people in there when this happened. They posted a picture of my sons. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't want to go tit for tat, but I think that was pretty evil when my sons have nothing to do with anything that their mom does here. One of those sons was in his uniform. He is still actively serving this country.
Wow.
And so when we're going to talk about toning it down, don't just put it all on us. And we need to remember, this is in the beginning stages. We do not even know who this person is. This person has not been caught. We have no idea who it is. None. So we can't be blaming anybody right now. When they find the person, bring them to justice. That's how I feel. And as far as Charlie Kirk, he said very, very hateful things out of his mouth. He did. But I never ever wish an unaliving upon anyone unless it's self-defense and they're coming after someone I love.
Yeah.
But we can't deny there was hateful rhetoric that has come out of him. But anyway, I'm going to keep it short. I know you have a lot of people to see, but please remember that today is also 9/11, and 24 years ago, we lost 2,977 people and ended up in a 2-decades-long war. So today is a really tough day for them too. And that's all I got.
Well, thank you, Ange, for bringing that up and reminding us all that we
Sure thing.
definitely need to pay our respect to the victims of 9/11 as well. That's very important as well. All right, you're
Okay.
doing okay though. Outside of that, you're doing okay.
Oh yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Thank you.
All
Y'all
right,
have a great day.
That's what it is. Today is a day of check-ins. All right, so I appreciate you
Thank
letting
you.
us
Thank
know
you.
and basically keeping it very respectful and dignified. All right.
I'm doing my best. Thank you.
All right, love you, thank you. Oh
Love you
my
too.
God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Ange. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay, who do we got next? Hold on. Good morning, Dolphin. How are you?
I didn't expect to come up.
Well, you've been asking to come up, and I felt like you got something very important to say, so you're here. What do you got?
Um, Yesterday I made a video, but it took me about 8 hours to finally make it. I don't like pew pew violence, period.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter who it is.
right.
Yesterday, not only did that hateful individual lose his life, and I'm very sorry for his family, and I'm sorry that all this came to this.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 kids were also unalived in Colorado, and the other one took his life. Just so happened to be the pew pewer, but still children.
Right.
And all day they covered Charlie Kirk. I go on True Social constantly. I'm sorry, on True Social, because I have an account. And I sit there and I watch, and I see the most disgusting things, not only from the President of the United States, but from his MAGA supporters. I've seen videos already of them calling to unalive us, saying, we started this mess, now it's time to finish it. I'm literally remembering quotes from these people.
Yeah. I've seen
I'm
it too,
tired.
Dolphin. I've seen it too, and I saw what Elon wrote too. He literally said the left is a bunch of unalivers, and I'm going, what the heck are you talking about?
And to those people, those Republicans, and even the President of the United States who sits there and says that it's the radical left Democrats that are the problem, don't ask us to unite with you. Now, I will say this. I am actually wearing a shirt today that my mother-in-law made.
Yeah.
It says, make America ours again, unite. It was a little messed up that I was wearing that shirt yesterday, because of everything that occurred. But to have anybody unalive because of a political view, and I don't know if anybody saw my video yesterday, because I actually clarified. I was like, or whatever happened,
Yeah.
because we don't know what happened. We don't know who did this. And yet we have one side literally saying it's Democrats.
Can't do that. Just like they tried to do when the Butler thing happened. I caught hell. Zeus, it's your rhetoric. My rhetoric, give me a break. The guy was a. They didn't know all the facts, Dolphin, but then it came out the guy was a Republican, registered Republican. They gotta quit jumping to conclusions and just looking for a scapegoat in this. The folks on the
Yeah.
right, they do. Like I can sit here and say, yeah, celebrating it isn't a good thing to do on the left either. But let's not play games about this and start acting like this is all of this started because we decided to speak out against Donald Trump. This is not how this started. I'm not
No,
ignorant. I'm not ignorant
no,
to that.
no. And I love, I don't know if you know this about me, but I love movies. I have a 320-inch movie screen on the other side of this basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to quote a gentleman by the name of Captain America and
Okay, what
what
do you
he
got?
said. Give me
What did
one
Captain
second.
what did Captain America say?
I was watching Age of Ultron the other day, and this is what he said. He said, every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people unalive. And I thought that was a great, great thing that he said. Even though it was written by whomever, these are good words.
Yeah.
And it's correct. And even though it's not a religious thing right now, and I'm literally recovering Catholic, but I also came across an MLK Jr. Quote the other day that said, every time, um, hang on a minute, I wrote it down. When God builds a church, the devil builds a chapel next door.
Hmm. Profound.
And
That's
I'm,
prophetic. Profound. Yeah.
yeah. Another movie I was watching, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, love movies. Anyways, but I needed to talk about this, and I did yesterday. And anybody that came in my live and said, good, he got what he deserved, anything like that, was literally muted. I don't care if you are friendly. I don't care if you were on the other side. If you say something nasty at that time and place, shows me what kind of person you are.
Hmm. Understood, Dolphin. And again, I hope we can listen to our better angels. Like, I do, for instance, understand. I could possibly be very, very, very. I could do a number on Donald Trump right now and MAGA right now. I mean, and it's taking an act of God, honestly, to stop me from doing it because I just want to get out here and just. But then I'm just thinking to myself, maybe this is not the right moment for it. And I learned that from President Biden because sometimes Biden would get angry and then he'd go, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. And that's kind of where I'm at. All right. But like I've been saying, Dolphin, have your values changed at all, Dolphin? Have your values changed?
No. I've been
Mine either.
saying for 2 years, and I'm like, this is my personal opinion. Every single time I woke up for the last 2 years, there has been a new school pew pewing and or first responders getting unalived, firefighters. I'm going to say this once.
Hmm.
Take all the weapons, take all the firearms, and then maybe make some common sense pew pew laws
Yeah.
and make them go through background checks, training, things like that, in order for them to finally get that pew pew back.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say this. This is my personal opinion. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, like I said, Dolphin, I get it. I feel like we were going from one crisis to the next with this previous week, right? It's just you turn on the TV and there's one crisis, then the next you can't get over that one. There's another one, and then after that there's another one, and it's just another one. And it's overwhelming. So I would encourage you, Dolphin, to do whatever you need to do to like protect yourself mentally. All right, and don't let the bad stuff that's happening out here. Try your best, I guess, not to let it make you out to be somebody you're not. Seriously, all right?
I am never going to change.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, but I do want to say the irony in what Ange was saying in regards to 9/11, having a current president that, when this happened, only cared about the size of his fucking building. On a on a phone call when that second plane hit,
Yeah.
said the Trade Center were the biggest buildings in New York. Well, I guess mine is now.
How
But yet
sad.
you voted for it, MAGA. You voted.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, listen,
Okay,
Dolphin.
I'm I'm
I gotta
I'm
move it
gonna
on,
get
all
off.
right?
I literally came up. I can't.
All right, I
I
gotta.
can't. I'm sorry. I took a bit
It's
of
okay,
time,
it's
but I
okay. I'm
really
glad I could
needed to
hear
get
from
this
you,
out.
all right? Well, thank you so much, Dolphin, all right? Appreciate it, all right? We're gonna try to
All right.
squeeze some more of
Whee!
our. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's our good friend Dolphin. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I'm going to bring up. Who do we have next? Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. Hold on. Hold on, Nutty. Stay right there. I'll be right back.
All right. So, condolences, first of all, and we cannot condone violence of any Okay. I'll just wait till Zeus gets back. I hope everyone is well. Please be taking care of your mental health. Drink some water. Go outside. Breathe the air. And hug your loved ones. Because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. It's not promised to any of us. But I absolutely condemn any violence. We condemn all violence. And we
All right,
are
I'm
not
back.
going
I'm
to
back.
stand.
I'm back.
Yeah, we're not going to. Hey,
Are you
Zeus.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Oh, I'm better. Feeling better. I had to turn that AC on. It's getting real hot over here.
Yeah, so we're not going to. We're going to condemn all violence.
Oh,
And we're going to leave it at that.
thank you.
But Zeus, I got to give credit to where credit's due. You continue to inspire even those of us like myself to have a little bit more grace, a little bit more patience, because I couldn't do what you're doing right now. I do want to give deference and respect to the victims of 9/11, because that's what we should be focusing on. The children yesterday, the children from all of these unalivements at schools. We have to do better as a society. We have to do better as a society. We cannot allow
Hey, what's
this
going
to
on back there,
continue.
Nutty? What's happening back there? Maybe you said it,
No,
but you're speaking real low.
well, because I'm in
Are you
my
in a
classroom right now.
compromising position?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say what I need to say, and I'm gonna get on out of here.
Okay, fair enough.
Jamming. I'm gonna say your name. You can go to hell. I don't need you getting on anybody else's panel trying to criticize what they do when you're at the absolute worst. The people that you hang around are the absolute worst. So you need to sit down.
Yeah.
You need to sit down. One moment. You need to sit down. I'm not gonna speak on yesterday. I just
Yeah.
condemn it. I condemn what happened, but I'm not gonna speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to focus on the children. I want to focus on the victims of 9/11. The darkest part of night is right before day. We are in our dark moment here in the United States of America. But don't give up.
Don't.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. We will come out of this. We will be better for this.
Yeah.
But let us not be better through hate and the rhetoric of hate.
Yeah. Yeah, you get it,
And
Nutty.
that's all I have.
Wow, I gotta give it to her.
And that's all I have to
I
say.
gotta give it to you,
Because-
Nutty. It's like you really been listening to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Huh,
So
wow. That's
I'll
quite
talk
the
to you
truth.
all
You know
another
what?
time.
You might got a little handsomer, all right, brother. But we'll talk about that on another day, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's Nutty, actually, not being as nutty as he could have been. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. He's already gone offline. All right. Yeah. This live, you know, and can I be honest with all of you real quickly, and then I'll bring up the next guest. Make no mistake, my resolve has not gotten weaker; it's gotten stronger. I'm going to be on Donald Trump like white on rice, still, but today I decided to pause that and really, this is not a show. This is more of the checking in with people to embrace the humanity of what happened. All right, it's not the show, but make no mistake. Do I still think Donald Trump is a threat to this country? You're darn right I do. All right. Do I still recognize the hypocrisy that MAGA has done and what they've unleashed? You're darn right I do. Am I satisfied with the way the Epstein situation has been worked out? Absolutely not. And I will get into that. Maybe I'll get into that tomorrow. And we're gonna are we gonna ease up on MAGA? No, because I can honestly say, in my opinion, and this is what I truly believe, all of this wouldn't be happening, and we in attacking kind of said it, if we could get so if y'all would start being honest about what's happening in this country. All right. And so, but I'm not gonna do that today. I really want to see if there's an opportunity, at least for me, to learn something that I didn't know and try to become a better person. And that's what this show is about. And that means I'm checking in with people and having good conversations, hopefully. And if people don't like what I have to say, then it is what it is.
What's going on? How you doing, Zeus?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I think that after yesterday, I think all of us have to learn a lesson of humility. No matter what rhetoric goes out there on either side, I think we need to take a step back and not turn that into violence. That's the whole thing. I mean, when you walk in, if I walk into your live, right, I walk into a lion's den. And somebody, if a Democrat walks into my live, they walk into a lion's den. It's just that those are just facts. But I think that we need to come together on this when it comes to rhetoric on both ends. My side as well. I take responsibility on different types of things as well. I'm holding back today as well too, Zeus, but we all have our feelings on different situations. But at the end of the day, Zeus, I would never want you to be hurt or harmed. I would never want myself to be hurt or harmed. There's so much, there are people that have found my address, put a comment on my, they found my business address and they put a comment on my account. And it wasn't really nice. But it could get scary out there because if the rhetoric turns into some kind of violence, you and I don't need to go get hurt at any level, anybody on this, Antifa or anyone, or
Right.
all the people that are just angry with each other. I would never want this to turn into some kind of violent attack toward each other. And I checked in on you yesterday. I checked in on Ange. You're good people. We're all good people, guys. At the end of the day, we get off this app and we go on with our day, and we don't really concentrate and focus on this negativity. Those are facts. We are all good people. We get up, we work,
So
we go to work, we come home.
So what do you say? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, even though you checked on me, I was bothered by what Donald Trump said about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm a Democrat. I would be someone
Right.
they would consider a left. How
Right.
how do you expect? Because I appreciate that you're trying to take accountability, but honestly, I don't think you could take accountability for everybody on the right. But you can look at yourself.
Right.
How should a person process it when the president and folks on your side are painting this narrative out there about us that really isn't true?
Right.
That's
Well,
not,
it's on both.
this is difficult because they already have basically said it's the Democrats, it's our rhetoric that have done it. And I'm like, well, the FBI, they said they had 2 suspects, then they turned around and took it back. How are we so quick to say it's the Democrats? I mean, what do you say to that?
Well, I'm not going to nitpick here and there. What I'm trying to say is that we need to focus on the rhetoric that causes violence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did Trump come to your house? Is he going to punch you out, or is he going to, hurt you? No, because we know it's not going to go that far. We're talking about people who have, when people talk about gun laws and now someone got unalive with a knife, it's not that. It's mental health. Mental health is the whole thing. There should be regulations on mental health. We need to figure out what's going on out there mentally, because anybody can pick up a weapon and do something, right? And it's because they choose to do that, right? They choose to get up in the morning and go ahead and unalive.
Well, I could get into that, and I could get into that, Snuggles, and say, yeah, it's definitely more of a men problem if you want to go that route. To me, it's more of a men issue. And to your point, what are we doing about the mental health? But in light of that, I would hope that you would understand and try to be more mindful of the fact that it's very hard when you have a target on your back and the president is the one that's putting it on your back.
I don't think so. If the president is putting that on your back, that's something you got to deal with, because it's not. Maxine Waters put stuff on our back, right?
Oh,
right. I mean, there's different. I'm just saying it's on both sides, though. Zeus, it's
See,
both sides that are doing the rhetoric. I'm not. No, it's both. I take accountability. They're both sides are doing the rhetoric, bro. Admit that. Acknowledge that. Please.
I can say that both sides have said very strong things about each other.
Thank
all right?
you.
But the pattern of it is a lot coming from the top of the country.
Well, Zeus.
Is Donald Trump the sitting president of the United States?
Yes, he is.
Does he bear more responsibility than people like you and me?
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a great job.
See, I didn't want to get to that. I didn't want to do that, Snuggles. I really didn't. But you can't come up here and try
Yes.
to. Were you laughing in just a split second?
No, I'm not laughing. What I'm trying to say.
See, I didn't want
Hey,
to
just
do it.
remember, guys, Snuggles is winning.
Snuggles. See, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunately I didn't want to do this, but somebody has to go straight to hell. And that's the MAGA demon right there. That demon, ladies and gentlemen, Snuggles, do me a huge favor and go straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon. You're either stupid or you hate the country.
It literally just devolved that fast. It devolved that fast. I've been sitting here taking all kinds of just hits and arrows, trying to show folks, listen, we can do better. And right when we get to a place where, you know what, we just might have a breakthrough, the MAGA demon surfaces. And now, you know what, I'm not going to even, I'll deal with that tomorrow when I go back. I think I'll try to stick to what I was doing. But listen, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, please do not perceive my kindness as a weakness. I just need to say that don't perceive that I'm me being trying to be genuine and being kind as weakness. It's not going to work. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen, to the next one. All right, and we got to try to get through these as fast as possible. Let's go. Hi, Patrick. How are you doing, bro? Are you there? Excuse me, Patrick. Are you there?
Good morning. It was loading.
Okay.
Hey, Zeus. Hey, good morning, everybody.
How are
So,
you?
really quickly, good, thank you. Really quickly, I've been doing some research. Shows that in Utah, there's a couple newspapers, whatever you believe in. One's owned by the Mormon Church, the Deseret News, and the other one is the Tribune. But according to the sources I've been able to come up with, there were 16 homicides of children under the age of 14 in 2024 in Utah. And just one more really quick one. In Dallas, I don't know what news you gained from Dallas, the Morning News, the Examiner, the Observer, the Times Herald. There was approximately, because some of them are still being investigated, 150 homicides of youth under the age of 14. And that's all. I hope you have a good day, Zeus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Patrick, for those alarming stats. And yes, calling an issue to what's, again, another example of just heinous acts of violence going on in this country. We got to do better, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously. All right, let's move it along. All right, my good friend JTA, how are you doing, bro? Welcome. How you doing?
With an appointment?
JTA, are you there? I think he's busy. All right, let's see. I think Val has something else he'd like to say. JTA, you can send a request. Hey, Val, you wanted to come back up and say something very quickly?
Yeah, through these events of yesterday, because yesterday was a wild day, really.
Correct.
And it wasn't. And there's one event that no one has talked about. You know what I'm saying? That everybody keeps forgetting. We talked about the children in Colorado. Thank you, Dolphin, for bringing that up. You know what I'm saying? We have not talked about Poland.
Oh.
Okay, and I want everybody to remember this is a country that their sovereignty was broken yesterday and has invoked Article 4.
Really?
Okay, so Article 4 is the precursor to Article 5, people. So I want everybody to understand that what happened, you know what I'm saying? This is important because we've been saying this for a lot of time now. article, Poland is, and if you read the articles from Poland, they are getting their citizenry ready for, you know what I'm saying, for a massive event. I'll put it that way, in the EU. And people need to understand that, I've said this before, if Poland jumps, everybody else in NATO follows. So people need to be aware of this and be aware of what's happening in Poland and be aware that our president actually needs to be working on this subject.
Yeah.
Okay. This is everybody talks about all kinds of things, that have gone on the last couple of days. WW3 would be worse.
Wow. Thank you, Val. You brought up a very valid argument, a valid point. And we do need to keep an eye out on that, all right, brother?
Yeah. I just want to make sure, we quit talking, because through this event yesterday, and it makes me wonder, I ain't going to say why it makes me wonder, I think it's painfully obvious. We didn't talk about, yesterday we didn't talk about what happened in Poland, hardly at all, didn't see it on the news.
Nope.
Yesterday, we didn't talk about the e-files. We didn't talk about how Republicans voted not to release the e-files in the Senate. Okay, these are the things that are not being talked about, and it makes me wonder.
And we will get into that probably tomorrow. All right, we'll do that because we're not going to forget what we didn't talk about. But I have a lot of questions. I do
too.
And hopefully we get to the bottom of it. All right. So,
and a lot of them that make me wonder about this subject, because one thing, y'all, we've talked about Charlie Kirk and all the things and the things that are wrong with this, but I want you all to remember that it was Charlie Kirk that wanted these files released. It was Charlie Kirk that stood with MTG and said that he agrees that these should be released. It was Charlie Kirk that said he didn't agree what's going on with Israel right now. I want y'all to remember that.
W Val? All right, Val.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for bringing that front and center. All righty then. Who do we got next? All right, let's see. Bama. Oh, who do we got? Good morning, Bama. How are you doing, Bama? Welcome to the show. Long time no see. Are you there? Bama, are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry, Zeus. I accidentally request. I was just trying to.
All right. I got you. All right, there you go. All right, let's move it along. All right, let's see. Who do we got next? Let's see. Tinkerbell. Welcome, Tinkerbell. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, sis.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
All right,
So
you
I
doing
was
okay?
just going to say the same thing, that it came out that Charlie Kirk was really pushing for the e-files to be released.
You don't say.
Yeah, there's videos of him speaking on it. He even got the Republican Party to get fired up about it getting released. And he never did stop that campaign. That was one of the things he kept pushing for, was the e-files to be released. So, and it just kind of reminds me of the whole Ashley Babbitt thing, because remember how radicalized she was?
Yeah.
And then it seems like Charlie Kirk, honestly, it just seems like he was just so radicalized between religion and then Trump's hateful rhetoric and, I don't know. I'm just so shook up with everything going on.
This information, it's alarming, but all I can say is this. You know what? This is why I don't like to jump to conclusions. And the thing is, when they go, this is who you should be angry at, and I'm going, probably not, because we haven't even gotten to the bottom of all of this. So I'm not falling for that either, but strange
I'm just
things
saying
have
that the
happened.
information is coming out, obviously, daily. We find out more and more. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all Americans, and I always say it's just a shame that Trump can never just come out and say, hey, let's all come together, we're all Americans. He never
Did he do that today? I know in his video yesterday.
No,
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
But did
I
he do
haven't
it
heard
today?
anything from him today, but I just wish that Trump would for once come out and say, can we all just get along? Basically, we're all Americans here. He never will say that. He never will call for peace.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
That's
like
interesting.
remember Obama's campaign? He always would say, "Yes, we can." It was about everyone, not
Yeah.
just the right and the left, and that's what causes all this division this whole time.
Yeah. You're right. You're right,
But
Tinkerbell. You're
and
right.
then yeah, and then I really liked what Cardi B said when she came out on Kamala's campaign. She was passionate with her speech that day, and she was saying like she was like he wants us to hate each other, and it was like so true. It was so true,
Yeah,
and
that's why I think hopefully they start to see this in themselves,
yeah,
right? Because all we're
yeah,
doing is honestly, in a way, holding the mirror up to MAGA and saying,
right.
like, hey, this is the issue, not us.
Yeah, and it's like remember like when Hulk Hogan passed away, yeah, we were sad. Yeah, he it was sad, but he did have the hateful rhetoric
Yeah.
also, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So true.
So and then like Michael Jackson has a song History, that song History, and he talks about, basically every day you create your legacy.
Yeah.
And I love that song because it's so true. Like every day creates your history. So when you do unalive one day, what do you leave behind when you're no longer here? You want people to remember all the good you did, or do you
Yeah.
just want them to remember, oh well, they sure did love Trump and they they were a
Yeah.
hateful person,
Well, that's why I
So,
think it's very important that we all keep that in mind, right? We get out here, we do
yeah.
what we do to kind of, stand
Yeah.
for what we believe in, but there has to be a point where you reflect and go, how is this tied to my legacy? And so,
Right.
it's a work in progress for all of us. No one has the perfect solution, but I think
Right.
when you know better, you should do better. All
Yeah.
right.
And I just say we're all Americans at the end of the day.
Thank you,
We have
Tinkerbell.
we have more in common than people want to realize,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's so true. But
yeah.
accountability is also necessary, and that's what this
Right.
is about. Like, you can't
Uh,
just sit out here and say, "Oh, they're the problem," and not have the
right.
ability to see yourself as the problem. All right.
Yeah, and I just want to say too is like as the most hateful rhetoric that Charlie Kirk did do was terrible, but at least he did want the e-files released. He really did.
And
So
there's
I
something
give
to that.
yes, I give
There
him
is
credit.
something to that. I'll say that because
Hmm.
he would have a lot of influence to be able to do and get
Right.
people
And
to
and
listen.
he never like swept it under the rug like a lot of people. He just kept fighting for it. So I give him a lot of respect for that.
Wow, 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 wow,
Uh-huh.
wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's why.
I've heard so many things, and what an interesting angle. All right, well, listen,
Yeah.
Tinkerbell. I'll
Well,
try
I'll
to.
send you a video of when he talks about it because he's really advocating for it till the very end. So,
Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. All right, well,
okay,
thank you,
you're
Tinkerbell.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, then what a show, what a show, what a show. Look at that. We have welcome, Poker Dad. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been on, for most of the show, and I'm sure you've probably gone over it sometime or another. But I want to put in perspective here, kind of like the levity of what happened, right? Let's go over the last, 60 years, 50 years. When was the last time that something like this happened? Obviously we've had attempts, things of that sort, but when something actually did happen, I want to think about what it was that did it, right? Let's think about Malcolm X for a minute, right?
Uh-huh.
Malcolm X was making moves. He was loved. He was hated. But the fact of the matter is when he started turning his way, kind of thinking on his own against the Nation of Islam, who was it that unalived him?
Well,
Right?
yeah.
It was an inside job. And
Hmm.
and I can't help but to think that this is similar to this, right? Because they could very easily get to individuals. I'm talking about for the evil doing of people, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about individuals like the guy from the insurance company was on the street, but we're talking about whoever did this wanted to do this on a grand stage, right? When it happened to MLK, it wasn't on a grand stage. People wanted to have this scene, right? There were individuals out there that had other ulterior motives of this. This was on a grand stage with thousands of people there. And, very similar to what happened with Malcolm X. And it wasn't thousands, but it was still on a grand stage where there was a huge amount of people that was in the room to
Hmm.
be seen. Someone is trying to make a point. And I don't know, has this message been sent?
Hmm.
That's what concerns me most about this. I think it's gotten to the point where Charlie Kirk has thought for his own, and I think he's definitely becoming a threat to the quote unquote MAGAs, because he's going to have he would have had his own future in politics. He probably would have been the strongest politician on the right for the next 16 to 20 years.
Hmm.
So I'm very curious. I'm not trying to deep dive too much in this, but I just want to think about, like, when does this really happen? It's not necessarily the enemy. If there's someone that truly hates him for who he is, they can find him anywhere. Anyone can be gotten.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to do it on a grand stage in front of thousands?
Hmm. Those are profound questions. But to your point, right? Those are also questions that I don't have an answer for. But I know that I just can't subscribe to the narratives that I'm hearing now, especially when they haven't, have they? I've seen things in the chat where they said they got a picture of the quote suspect, but
Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing a whole lot of things,
yeah,
but I mean, let's really think about this. At these events, we've all been involved one way or another, events, somewhat like this. There is police officers coming in, coming out, security. He has his own security detail. I don't want to call him Secret Service like, but we're talking about the best of the best trained professionals, and no one knew or saw this individual coming in or out with thousands of people. Like,
I don't
you
have the
can't.
answers. I don't have the answers, but to me, and then like I said, we got them, and then we don't have them.
Not having answers is the answer.
What do
Let's
you
really
mean?
think about that. It's when we're all dumbfounded, right? The police, everyone dumbfounded. They have no clue what's going on. There's no answers. That's the answer.
Mm.
It was completely planned. It is protected. There's so much behind this. This isn't just some individual vigilante coming out there and doing what he's doing.
Mm. Wow.
We need to be aware of this. I mean, these are changing times in America right now.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this is why I said today it's not the normal, go after the Trump and do what I normally do. I think I personally didn't know that the impact he had on on the culture was what it is. Personally, I didn't know it until I've seen and then started doing my own. But yeah, I don't have the answers, Poker Dad.
Does everyone really understand the effect he had on the voters of the United States?
I don't.
Let's really think about this, right?
I don't. I didn't know it, but I'm looking at how the reaction is, and I'm going, "Wow, this guy had a large reaction."
So, I hate the fact that I was correct in the assessment prior to the election, but I remember saying, because obviously, I was at one point involved with GOP down where I was, where I live at, and there was a lot of question going on because the last election, the Democrats were very successful in gaining voters that the new voters, the 18 to 24, 25-year-olds.
In the Biden election.
Correct.
Got it.
They were more successful. And when Charlie Kirk had his group put together, as far as getting voters and really communicating with the college campuses, the high schoolers coming out, they dominated that sector of the vote. He was a huge catalyst in making that happen, right?
Yeah.
You could argue he was the reason why that election was won, because of that group, because it was so dominant over the Democratic Party. And now this is where the state, he got too powerful for his own good.
Wow.
So that's where this is getting scary, right? And now when it comes up to the Epstein files and all the questions he's having, Trump is losing the people that were helping him get elected.
Get out
You
of
know, everyone
here. Get out of here.
everyone hates Candace Owens, but what did she say?
What did she say?
I regret getting my followers to vote for Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Charlie's doing the same thing. Ben Shapiro is even separating himself from a lot of the things of the Trump narrative. Like even the people that were literally talking about him every day in positive ways are leaving his side.
Wow.
So this is where the curiosity is, right?
Mine.
Where is this falling around? Where is this? Where this is clearly falling apart on him.
Well, and rightfully so, right? Because you see how he's running things. You see all the stuff he's linked to. I mean, this should cause this. He's not who they thought he was. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of his base that have actually decided to give it a second thought. They're starting to say, "This isn't what I signed up for whatever the reason is."
Yep.
And
And again, we talk about it all the time. He is nothing but a marketing brand and wants to have his face in the place when things are happening. And sling a couple words saying we need to fix this. Something has to be done. We're going to put a tough line on it. I'm going to put an order on it. Nothing gets done.
Wow.
The worst example of leadership there is. How many times have you been in a place of business where you would have a manager or a director that just yelled things out and never did anything? Did anyone enjoy working for them?
No.
In football, when you have a coach, they call him the get back coach. Everyone's on the sidelines. Get back, yelling at everyone. Does nothing for the game. That is who he is. That's absolutely right. He's a walking commercial. Nothing but. And like we need to realize that if we're putting our faith into someone like him,
yeah.
And I'm not even talking about just Trump. I'm talking about the entire idea of Trump.
Yeah.
Of people that just want to have a huge bravado and act like they're strong and act like they have all these things that they can do to save America. Fact of the matter is, none of the work is getting done. We need to get involved on the local levels. We need to grow new politicians that actually care about the people, care about fiscal responsibility, stop worrying about these quote unquote famous people and stars and so-called businessmen coming up to take office that's just going to help grease the pockets of their constituents, helping people like the Epstein group get off of what they're doing. This needs to come to an end. It is getting destroyed from within because the fact of the matter is they're eventually going to disappear. Every one of them, whether it's naturally or through other means, it's going to happen. What are we going to do as individuals to make sure that we're seeing through the BS? Forget the left, forget the right. I don't care about any of them at this point.
Right.
Right? Fact of the matter is the majority of this country see things very much eye to eye, just like you and I do. One right, one left, it doesn't matter. We need to vote for what's right. People over politics and get rid of the BS. Start protecting our children. Start protecting the individuals from these massive acts of violence. Stop worrying about people that are already in the country and spending money on things that we don't need to spend money on. Let's just protect each other. Can we do that? Can we stop worrying about minding our own business and help the person that's next to us that just got attacked by somebody?
Yeah.
Can we do that? Can we love thy neighbor? Can we do that? I'm over this whole thing right now about us against them. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Have we had enough of this chaos? Do we enjoy waking up feeling up the way we did today?
No.
I know I don't. I had a dark cloud over me all day. It affected me at my job. It affected me in my conversation. I was scattered, and I don't even know the man. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing going on with the young lady on the train.
Yeah.
Same thing going on with the children in the schools. It is complete chaos, and it's everything that's the opposite of what America is supposed to stand for. Our freedoms are supposed to be protected. We're supposed to be able to defend ourselves. We're supposed to be, to be able to, live through our faith the way we choose to, without judgment. I've had enough of this, Zeus.
Me too.
And I think that everyone here, that if we've had enough, we need to start standing on the fact that we love who we are. We love our brothers and sisters. F the Republicans, F the Democrats,
Oh,
F the left,
oh,
F the right.
oh.
I'm trying to keep it clean, Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a lot of Fs. 3, 4 Fs.
Like, it has to stop. We can't even get on TikTok without having arguments because we disagree about things that don't really matter. They don't. Oh my God, I got blocked by so-and-so because I said so-and-so. Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Well, it hurt my feelings
That
when they blocked me.
this is what humanity has brought us to.
My data, my poll numbers aren't doing great. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Oh,
Seriously.
I don't got enough likes on the video. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
People are getting talked about posthumously about how horrible they were. Yes, I get it. Things they did was different on both sides. Like people are losing people on both sides. It doesn't make it okay. There's children that are going to be growing up without mothers and fathers. There's parents that are losing their children because they went to work at a pizza shop and had to take public transportation to get home. There's mental health care that's not being taken care of. But hey, we had the National Guard in Washington, D.C. to pick up trash. Can we start worrying about what's important first? I'm sorry I got on my,
Well, you said what you felt. You said what you felt. I mean, heavy. Thank you. All right, brother.
All right, bro. Sorry to keep you on here longer than you expected.
True. I appreciate it. It is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, that's Poker Dad delivering, his truth to you all right? So let's give him a round of applause.
Take it easy, Zoo.
Oh, cut him. Sorry. Cut you off, bro. Hold on. I wanted to, hold on. I saw the guest that I saw earlier. I see him back in here. I was going to actually say something to him. He came back here, which is a sign. I wanted to bring him up, the Beyonce one. Hey, Swerve, how are you?
Hey, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm looking at 52 here in a few days.
All right. Well,
So,
thank the good Lord. So, you better thank the Lord.
yeah, after I got sick, I didn't think I was going to continue to make it this far, brother, but I'm still trucking. Still pushing and booking, Hey, good morning to all you beautiful, tiny people living in the kingdom in my telephone. Now, Poker Dad was right in the sense that we do have these things going on. The fact that we had another mass pew-pewing yesterday at a school. The fact that these things just keep happening and happening and happening, and everything that he said, maybe MAGA needs to hear that. And when, they keep, I use the young lady on the train. How much time has MAGA spent demonizing and criminalizing and vilifying the immigrants of this country?
Shit. Since he came down the golden escalator.
Exactly.
At least.
Now it's even worse. But then when one of them loses their life, oh my God. No, your hypocrisy is already out there on full display. And I'm very sorry that young lady lost her life. And I'm very sorry that whatever loopholes we have in our criminal justice system that allow that man to continuously get out and in and out and in and out and in, kind of help perpetuate that crime. But unfortunately, this again is where the hypocrisy of MAGA comes in. They won't say anything about the people in their own communities who have done that very thing to their own families.
Yeah.
They won't say anything about that. And you know what? I agree with Poker Dad in the sense that I'm tired of waking up every day feeling like that we're in some kind of football team or sport, or we're boxers and it's always us against them.
Yeah.
But when we say them, it's the radical right, the ones who came into my life yesterday accusing me
Whoa.
of things that I had absolutely nothing to do with, telling me to get ready for a civil war because they were coming for me without even knowing who perpetrated this event with Mr. Kirk. You know, so, and I'm sorry that Charlie's kids are going to grow up without their dad. His wife is now a widow. I'm sorry for that. But I also want everyone to remember what Malcolm X said when JFK was unalived. America's chickens have come home to roost. And some of the violent rhetoric that this man spewed, he actually made a statement. Maybe we need to accept some deaths in this country in order to keep our Second Amendments. Like, why am I supposed to feel sorry for him at this point? It's very difficult. That's a very difficult pill for me to swallow.
Yeah.
After people perpetuate the rhetoric that they perpetuate, and then something happens to them. But MAGA is all up in arms about it. Where is the MAGA? And again, Zeus, their hypocrisy. Where's this same energy for the two Democrats who were unalived a few weeks ago or a couple months ago? Where is that same energy? They didn't have any of it.
None.
And I heard Lou in your live. I had to step out of the house for a little bit. And I heard Lou in your live this morning, you know, talking about this is what you do. This is what you say. Right.
Yeah.
But he sits there on the panel with the Russian bears who have called me all kinds of foul crap. And he won't call them out. So again, the hypocrisy. And this is why we are constantly made in this country to feel like it's us against them. Now, I don't care enough about them. I don't care about the irrelevant to try to make them relevant.
Right.
I just don't care enough. But it's just the sheer blinding hypocrisy for me, Zeus,
Yeah.
that I just can't get over. With the two events that went along that took place in this country yesterday,
Yeah.
Mr. Kirk losing his life, I care more about those two children who lost their lives in Colorado.
Right.
Okay, because again, what we are going to hear from the right is, well, now is not the time to talk about firearm legislation. We gotta let this settle down, and give the parents time to grieve. Okay, and then by the time you do that, guess what's going to happen next week?
What's that?
Going to be another one probably, and it's just going to keep right on going. And it's just going to keep right on going. And this type of violence, this firearm violence that goes on in this country, Zeus, this is strictly a problem of the United States. Nowhere else in the world does this happen. They may have one once every blue moon, but not to the extent that we do in the United States. Yeah. And mental health is always the issue, yet every time you turn around, Republicans are making it easier for the issue to get its hands on a firearm. That's a fact. That's a fact. And they say their Second Amendment rights are the most important rights in the world. Well, Zeus, what about your right to live?
I guess it's not as important as that, right?
No.
Second Amendment.
What about my right to live? What about these children's right to live? Their
It's not
lives,
Trump derangement syndrome.
their lives and their right to live. Because, they always want to bring out the Constitution, right? The Constitution says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life. Life. Life is the key word there. How can we have life if every time we turn around, we have been forced into a corner where we are afraid to go anywhere? Because these things happen at churches, synagogues, grocery stores, parks, schools, elementary schools.
Yeah.
Defenseless of our children's population, elementary schools. But we're going to get the good guys with the firearms to show up. Well, by the time they show up, it's already too late. It's already too late.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, you can go eat a whole sack of eggplants, okay, and choke on every one of them.
Oh.
Where does it say that in the Constitution? Where does it say those are guarantees? The Constitution says we are born with 3 inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is a right. Look it up, Tim. Try to learn something. You can take off that tight ass tank top from around your neck that's cutting off the oxygen to your brain. This is the stupidity of people like that. And it just, I can't take it, brother. I can't take it. And I'll be talking about this on my live. I'm gonna keep a very controlled live today.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all trying to process it the best that we can, and I get it, so yeah. And I appreciate the words, Brother Swerve. I appreciate everybody that came up here, whether we agree or disagree. I appreciate, because it still does take courage to get up here and just talk and speak on your truth. All right, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Whatever side of the aisle you're on,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me. This kind of violence should not be going on. I did not like Charlie Kirk. I didn't care for Charlie Kirk. Whatever. I'm not going to go too much further than that. But what happened to him yesterday should not have ever happened.
Yeah.
And I hope that they find the perpetrator. But this, again, is where MAGA needs to sit down, take several seats, and stop running around talking about it was a Democrat. They don't even have anybody in custody. But they were just like in Butler. Oh, it was a Democrat. You don't even know his name. And then we found out it was a Republican. And you're like, well, no, he donated $5 to Act Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an 89-year-old man who did that, or however old he was. So they sit there and just want to immediately blame somebody and then threaten people like you and I, Zeus, talking about get ready for this, get ready for that. Like we all of a sudden have bullseyes on our back.
Yeah.
Maybe America's chickens are coming home to roost, and people are tired of all the violent rhetoric that has been put out there, and they act on it. And we've been seeing them act on it for years. Ever since Tangerine Taco Teats brought us behind down that golden escalator. So that's all I wanted to say, brother. I appreciate you having me up. I know it's late in the day for you.
Yeah.
Give my best to Mama Zeus and to the rest of the beautiful, tiny people living in my telephone. You all be well. You all be safe. And doggone it, have fun while you do it.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brother Swerve. Lord have mercy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, FBI has released a picture. They released the images of the person of interest. So that's out there. It looks like a white guy to me wearing a American flag on his shirt. So, so we'll get to that. But I'm looking at the time, ladies and gentlemen. What time? Oh, it's 9. Oh my God, I've been on here for pretty much 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give all of you, honestly, a huge round of applause. This has probably been more of a difficult live, where I didn't really get to unleash all of the thunder that I normally do. But I do hope, for what it's worth, there was some good taken from this discussion. These were check-ins with regular people, and to be honest, these were people on all different sides of the aisles. And some of the people I don't agree with, but you know what? They have a right to believe whatever it is that they want to believe. All right. We condemn violence, especially political violence, but violence comes in multiple forms. All right. It's just not physical. All right. It could be mental. It could be spiritual. It could be racial, right? It could be sexual. And that's the thing I wanted to leave on every single one of your minds today. You can do something. And Michael Jackson made the song Man in the Mirror. It really does start with you. You have the power to control and regulate your emotions. And I would encourage everyone to do that. I also encourage everyone to avoid being manipulated and gaslit into believing a narrative that may or may not be true. All right. One of the biggest narratives out there that isn't true is that the Democrats and the people on the left are somehow responsible for this. We're not. Okay. Another narrative out there is that we should be able to dictate how people should respond to this incident. You can't do that. All right. People are going to react to it very different. I acknowledge that Charlie Kirk's rhetoric definitely was, in some people's eyes, not really positive, and they have a different reaction than someone who may have listened to him and said this guy was a good guy. You're all going to have different ways of processing this, but my hope is that you always try to take the good out of whatever situation that you're in, and then use it to make yourself a better person. All right. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care. And if you, on that note, thank you, Rick. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. I'll see you tomorrow. Same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. Thank you, Lady Boss. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You didn't have to, but you do always. All right, I appreciate it. All of you stay safe out there. All right? Take care. Thank you, Heaven. Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. Wow. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Zena. And CGA. You too, Sneaky Faker. You too, Rick. You all be careful too. Sarah. W to Honda. Maureen. Love you too. Be safe, everyone. Blue Pages. W Little Hawk. Mount Negro. Let's go. No lies detected. Stacy Jones. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Take care and stay safe.